Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 1 of our story. If you like this What If story and want to see part 2, let me know in the comments below. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, check the description for more great content and my playlist. This story was posted by 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐸𝐵 on Wattpad. Now let's start. In POV of Izuku cheat. Of all words that I've hated hearing, cheat is one of the worst ones for me. No matter what the situation may be, there are countless times where I've seen people use this word as an action to get away with something, and I've hated it. Never in my mind would I think that one day I would end up getting cheated on by someone I thought really loved me. Guess that really proves that anything can happen. Back in time, and in no one's POV as she rushed to leave work, the greenette kept checking her phone to see if she'd gotten any messages that she missed. Just as she was about to quit checking her phone, she'd gotten a call from the one person she was looking forward to hearing from. "Yo Kuin," she exclaimed. "Hey, Izuku, is it a bad time to talk?" "No, of course not. I just got off work for the day." "Lucky, I'm still working but I'll make sure to be free for our date tonight." Poor Yokuin, ever since he got ranked in the top 25 of heroes in Japan, he's been busy as ever. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that kind of stuff anymore. Well, I'll be waiting for you. I'm so excited to see you today, which SCKS since we won't be able to see each other tomorrow. Yeah, and it's your birthday tomorrow, but don't worry, I'll make tonight special. Really? So just a few more hours and then I'll be done for the day. I can't wait to see you again. Bye. Oh, if I have a few hours until Yokuin gets off work, then I should go home and get ready. Wait, maybe if I ask Melissa, she can help me. This is Izuku Midoriya, soon to turn 24, and is a doctor and is known for her skills of her quirk being healing. Though she did manage to become a hero by going to and graduating Hi, she decided that it was more important to help those that needed their lives saved in a safe environment than risking her life to do so. When she was a hero, she was just known as Deku, but ever since she quit being a hero and became a doctor, she became known as Dr. Deku. Not much of a drastic change in her name, but she was fine with it since there are plenty of people that knew her when she was a hero now that she's become a doctor. And the person she was talking to on the phone. That was Yo Shindo, otherwise known as the Vibration Hero, Grand, and is a widely known hero in Japan and is ranked 22nd overall. He is actually a year older than Izuku and didn't go to with Izuku, but went to 𝐒𝐮𝐸𝐵𝐶 High. But Yo and Izuku had first got to meet each other at the provisional licensing exam back when they were in high school, and they became friends after that. Yo is also Izuku's boyfriend of 2 years. Right before Izuku retired from working as a hero, Yo took the chance to ask her out, and they've been dating ever since. I hope Melissa's home, she's always been the one to help me out on these dates. Izuku thought as she knocked on the door and heard a faint, "Just a minute." After waiting less than a minute, the door cracked open and a woman with blonde hair and aqua blue eyes with glasses on her face appeared. This lovely young lady is otherwise known as Melissa Shield, daughter of David Shield, aka the man who helped design one of All Might's suits. Izu. Hey Melissa, I don't suppose you could help me out on getting ready for my date tonight, right? Izuku asked sweetly. You know I'm obviously going to say yes to that. Come on in. Melissa answered and opened the door for the greenette to enter the house. Well, I can tell you're busy as always, Izuku stated, looking around the place as there were blueprints and books everywhere. It's all because I've been getting busy with designing some new items that my dad wanted me to build for an upcoming convention. How've you been? Melissa asked, trying to tidy up her place a bit. Doing good so far, I'm just looking forward to this date overall. Let me guess. You and Shindo are having a date tonight instead of tomorrow, even though your birthday's tomorrow, because both of you are busy tomorrow. Melissa asked. Yeah, as much as I tried to take off, we're pretty busy at the hospital this time of the year. And since Yokuin's in the top 25 of best heroes in Japan, he's been busier than usual too. Izuku hummed. So do you know what you two are gonna do tonight for your birthday? Melissa asked. No, Yokuin didn't tell me, but he did say that tonight's gonna be special. Izuku teased. Does that mean you two are gonna get far tonight? I hope so, we've been dating for 2 years but the farthest we've gotten is a kiss. And if we do it, I don't mind being sore for work tomorrow. Izuku said happily. How weird is it that you and Shindo have only kissed, but nothing like a makeout session, right? I know, but we're always busy. It SCKS that he can't even visit me at my work, but at least he can see me when he can. The Greenette answered. Right. Well, you should go take a shower, and I'll see if I can find something you can wear for tonight. Got it? I'm so glad we're the same size. Izuku cheered as she went to find the bathroom. Here we go. Do you have something that will make Yokuin keep his eyes on me all night? Izuku asked as she entered Melissa's bedroom while drying her hair. And it's absolutely perfect for you. Here. Melissa answered as she handed her a dress. And Melissa, this is a bit. It's CC, isn't it? The second you told me Shindo wants to make this night special, that means he'll absolutely want you and your body the whole night. Which means that you should wear something that will make him want your body sooner than never. And this is the perfect dress for that to happen. Melissa exclaimed as she held the dress up to the Greenette. That's a little short, isn't it? Don't complain, it's not like you've never worn short dresses before. Yeah, but since I became a doctor, I haven't had to dress in something like that in a while. Izuku answered nervously. Just put it on, and I'll help you with your hair and makeup once you're dressed. Melissa stated as she shoved the Greenette back into the bathroom. You look way sexier in that than I would. Melissa said, clasping her hands together and in awe at the Greenette. Izuku was wearing a black evening cascading ruffle dress that was off the shoulder and had a mini v-neck. No, looks like this. I didn't think it would fit this perfect on me. You said it before, you're glad we're the same size. Alright, now let's do your hair and makeup and then you'll be drop dead gorgeous. Melissa yelled as she pulled the Greenette to sit down on the bed. After what felt like an eternity, the blonde stepped away to look at her masterpiece and started to squeal at her art. Wow, Izu, you look like you're about to steal any man now. Melissa stated. You think so? Izu, I know so. Here, take this coat so Shindo won't even get to see you in this dress until you're absolutely ready. And one last thing. Melissa paused as she grabbed a bottle of perfume off her dresser and handed it to the Greenette. I've never used this perfume before, but I think it'd be better for you to have it. Use this before you two get into it. Melissa said. Izuku looked at the bottle of perfume and it smelled like cherry blossoms. You seem more interested in this than me, Melissa. Because I'm your friend and I want the best for you. Now put these heels on and get out there, and you've got to tell me everything tomorrow, okay? Thanks, Melissa, really? No problem, now go. The sooner he sees you, the sooner he'll want to devour you. Bye, Melissa. Izuku practically showered her dress with the perfume and then put her coat on to cover the scent so that Shindo would be the one to smell her. Okay, Yokuin and I will surely have tea tonight, we have to. We've been dating for 2 years, which means that the birthday present he'll give me tonight is what I've never done before. Finally, my virginity days are gonna be over after tonight. Izuku thought happily. She pulled out her phone and noticed that Shindo had yet to message her or call her yet. That's weird, Yokuin would have messaged me by now. I wonder if he's still working. Let's call him. Hello. Yokuin, where are you? Have you finished your hero stuff for the day? She asked. Boy, I'm just about to finish. Then I'll be able to see you, Izusen. Oh, okay, then I'll send you a message on where we should meet. Got it? I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. And the phone call ended. That was weird. I don't think I've heard Yokuin sound so nervous before. Oh, maybe he's just nervous since he hasn't seen me all day. That means he'll absolutely love seeing me when we meet up. But Izuku's thoughts were interrupted when she looked up to see a billboard of the #1 hero, Dynamite, aka Katsuki Bakugo. He seems to be doing well. He just recently became the #1 hero, didn't he? That's right, and Uraraka told me all about it and how she was. Never mind, it's none of my business. I shouldn't be thinking about him and go see my boyfriend. The Greenette thought and started walking away from the billboard. Izuku had arrived in the busiest part of Tokyo, Japan, but was surprised that she'd yet to see her own boyfriend. He's not here yet? But his agency isn't far from here, and it took me longer to walk here since I'm wearing heels. I wonder where he dash. The greenette turned her head and felt her body go numb at the sight. It was Shindo, but he wasn't alone. Yokuin. Yokuin. Izuku couldn't believe the sight as her boyfriend had his arm wrapped around another girl, a girl that she'd never seen before. Yokuin's with someone else. But that can't be. There were no hints or signs that Yokuin would ever cheat on me, so why am I seeing this? No. Izuku thought as she slowly watched Shindo kiss the girl on the cheek. The greenette twitched at the sight and then immediately pulled out her phone and dialed Shindo's number and watched for him to see if he'd react. She watched as he looked down at his phone and then rolled his eyes at seeing his phone and then looked down at the girl and smiled sweetly at her. Hey, what's up, Izuku-san? Then, where are you? I thought you'd be here already. Izuku asked, trying to not sound upset. Oh, I'm really sorry, Izuku-san, but it looks like I might need to stay working tonight. I'm so sorry we have to cancel on your birthday tonight. He answered. Tears formed in the greenette's eyes as he watched him smile at the girl again. It's okay, I can celebrate my birthday with some of my friends that aren't busy tonight. Izuku stated, biting her lip. Yeah, sorry this suddenly happened, Izuku-san. It's fine, Kun, things happen. Maybe next time. But there won't be a next time. She hung up the phone and then looked up to see how relieved Shindo looked after their call ended, and he kissed the girl over and over in his arms. Izuku felt her heart drop at the sight. Never in her life did she think that something like this would happen to her, and on a very important day for her. There's one thing I hate, and that's cheating. So if you want to cheat on me, Yokuin, fine, but I'm not gonna cry and whine and beg you to come back. She thought as she turned around and started walking away from the scene she just witnessed. As she was walking down the pavement, she tried calling some of her friends or colleagues to see if they were free for the night, but it seemed like no one was available. Of course everyone's busy, it's the middle of the week. Not even Melissa's free, not like I would ask her if she was free anyway since she put so much effort into helping me get ready. Should I just go home? I shouldn't, I should just have a party for one. Who says I have to celebrate my birthday with someone? Then where should I go for dinner? I'm sure I have a coupon somewhere in my wallet. She thought as she dug through the crevasses of her wallet and found a card that wasn't a coupon at all. What's this? She thought as she read the card, it was a free card to a bar. A bar? Why do I have flashback to 2 years before Izuku dated Shindo? Why are you giving me this, Melissa? Izuku asked, holding the bar card. Oh come on, you haven't really dated anybody, have you? Melissa asked. Well no, I've been busy doing hero stuff that I don't have time. It's not like I'm dying for a relationship anywhere. Yeah, but maybe there will be one day where you're actually craving for some kind of relationship, so go to this place. The second you go there, you'll meet someone who will be more than willing to give you the passion and romance you longing. Melissa explained. I've never craved passion or romance, Melissa. Just keep it, you never know what'll happen in the future. If only I could see the future me and wonder what happens. Izuku muttered. Back to present, that's right, I did end up keeping this. I didn't think it'd still be in here, but I guess it's fine. It does say free drinks at the bar if I use this, I guess I should use it then. Maybe the drinks will help me move on faster from thinking about Yokuin. Right, let's try it out. Oh, but these contacts are really burning my eyes now that I've cried. I should take them out once I get there, and then I'll drink until I can't drink anymore. Following morning, as the cracks of light hit her face, Izuku slowly woke up to the feeling of something resting on her stomach. She cracked her eyes open and slowly looked down to see an arm wrapped around her waist, and she followed where that arm was coming from to see a man lying in the bed right next to her. Wait, did I dash? She sat up from the bed and looked down to see that she was completely empty, and she quickly pulled the covers up to cover her chest. Wait, how did I don't remember dash, the greenette tried to think, but everything about last night went blank. Hold on. I went to that bar last, and while I was there, drinking, I remember a few seats down there was a man who was drinking but he seemed upset. I remember talking to him and he seemed really interesting, and then the drinks just kept coming and then. Did I Did I have 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐦𝐸𝐶 with that man? She thought as her face turned red. She jolted as she could feel the man moving slightly in the bed, and she immediately covered her mouth to make sure she wasn't making any noise. I can't even see this guy's face since I took my contacts out, and I don't have my glasses with me either. Oh, forget that, I had 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐸𝐸 with a man I've never met before. Wait, what time is it? She thought as she jerked to look at her phone and saw the time, 6:53 a.m. CRP. I'm gonna be late for work if I don't leave now. I need to leave. She thought as she jumped out of bed, grabbed her clothes that were lying on the floor, her shoes and anything else that belonged to her. She quickly got dressed in her last night clothes and ran out the door. Whoever you are, I'm really sorry I had 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐸𝐸 with you, and as much as I should talk to you, I'm gonna be late for work if I do stay. Man, I'm so sore and my head is killing me. She thought as she rushed to the elevator and left the hotel. Shortly after the brunette left the hotel to rush to work, the man in the bed slowly woke up from how half the sheets weren't covering him. He slowly sat up and rubbed his spiky ash blonde hair and cracked his eyelids open for them to spark a subtle ruby red. The hell? What happened? He thought as he looked around. As he looked around to see where he was, he instantly recognized that this was not his house. This was a hotel room. I don't remember going to a hotel last night. He thought and then looked down at himself. I don't normally sleep naked, and why does it feel like someone scratched my back? Wait. He jumped out of bed and ran to the closest mirror he could find and saw kiss marks on his neck and chest, and once he turned around to see his back, his eyes widened to see deep and red scratches on his back. Did I sleep with someone last night? He walked back to the bed and picked up the sheets, and it smelled like sweet cherry blossoms. That was a familiar scent that he hadn't smelled in a long time. Did me and that person have section? But I don't remember anything after that drink I had, so how could I have met Dash? As he was trying to think, his phone started ringing. He looked down to see his phone on the bed and grabbed it to see it was one of his friends calling. What? Hey Bakugo, where are you? We're supposed to be on patrol today. The voice said. SHT, looks like I'll have to deal with whatever happened last night later. Hold on, the last time I blacked out was when he appeared. Does that mean he's appeared this time too? Izuku nibbled on the rose flower while sitting at her desk and looking like a tired but mess. Note: yes, because Izuku has healing abilities as her quirk, she has to eat edible flowers to keep her quirk from dropping in strength and power. Moving on. I'm glad the janitor left me a bouquet of flowers that re-edible for me to eat. They're the only thing that gives me energy, especially in the morning. If only I had some chamomile flowers, then I could make some tea to relieve this terrible hangover headache. She thought as she grabbed another rose flower and nibbled on its petals. What was I thinking? I had 𝐒𝐮𝐸𝐸𝐸 with a complete stranger and I don't even remember how it happened. Last thing I remember is meeting the guy, but everything after that is blank. The worst part is that because I took out my contacts and didn't have my glasses, I was completely blind on seeing the guy's face. He did sound nice and sweet though. From what I do remember, he was giving me compliments while we were drinking, but everything else I don't remember. Arg, why did I have to lose my virginity to a stranger while drunk? What is wrong with me? Izuku, you okay? The brunette jerked her head up to see a woman with dark purple hair and bright red eyes looking down at her. Oh, 𝐒𝐮𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸-senpai, I didn't know you were standing there. I was standing here too. Another woman with gray hair and lilac purple eyes stated, looking down at the brunette. Violent senpai too. Sorry, I've been out of it today honestly. Izuku exhaled. The woman with dark purple hair and bright red eyes is Ziri Yudoku, and the woman with gray hair and lilac purple eyes is Violet Ibis, and both of these women are Izuku's peers and colleagues. They were both heroes at one point in their life, but retired and became doctors, which is what inspired Izuku to retire from hero work herself. Both of these women are 28 years old. Out of it. But the day just started. Ziri said. Yeah, so what could you have done to make yourself feel out of it? Violet asked. Oh. It's all because of a stupid mistake I did last night. Izuku mumbled. Mistake? What kind of mistake could you have possibly made? Oh. It's bad enough that it could make you speechless. Wait, you had section with a stranger. Last night? Ziri asked. Yes. Yes, I did. Izuku answered, sounding ashamed. Wait, so you decided to cheat on your boyfriend and go have sex with a stranger? What is wrong with you, Izuku? Violet asked. Oh, actually me and 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 are no more. Izuku mumbled. No more? What you mean? Last night, me and 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 were supposed to meet up to celebrate my birthday, but I found him with another girl before our date, and when I called him about our date, he said he was suddenly busy and couldn't see me. Izuku explained. So then, did you tell him that you saw him with another girl? No, I couldn't find the courage to call him out for cheating on me. But you somehow had the courage to have sex with a stranger instead. Violet noted. I know. I was drunk, and I guess because I was so desperate for something, that I ended up getting in bed with that stranger and did it. Now it's 2 years down the drain because I was stupid to think 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 really liked me. We had barely even kissed, and I ended up losing my virginity to a stranger instead. It's CKS that I don't even remember anything because of how drunk I was too. Izuku exhaled as she rubbed her eyes. As much as I should be mad, it was Shindo that cheated on you first, so it's not entirely your fault you decided to have sex with someone else. Ziri stated. That's true, I should have known judging from that flashy smile he has that's always seen on the news. Cheating scumbag. Violet muttered. So, do you remember anything about this stranger? Ziri asked. Oh, not really, I was drunk. Yeah, but you must remember his face, right? Actually. No, you don't even remember what he looks like. Violet asked. I took my contacts out before I ended up meeting the guy, and I didn't have my glasses, so I basically went on an actual blind date. You guys know how terrible my eyesight is, right? Oh, we know, and to think a blind date would lead to sex just on the first meeting. Not like it's never happened before though. Ziri stated. Do you remember anything about the guy then? Violet asked. I remember his voice. Okay, great, but what about his name? You got his name right. Violet asked. You didn't even get his name. Now that means you'll never find this guy if fate happens. Ziri exclaimed. I know, it was stupid, it's just once we started talking and drinking, the question of asking for his name didn't even think of being a thought. Izuku answered. Okay, so you couldn't see his face, didn't get his name, did he at least give you his phone number? Ziri asked. Then this is hopeless. You might as well just give up on figuring out who the guy was since you didn't get any information. Violet exhaled. This is all my fault. I knew I should have just gone home after finding out 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 cheated on me. Izuku mumbled. Do you remember anything that happened after you and this guy left the bar? Ziri asked. I am getting flashbacks and can see that we ended up getting a little passionate while heading to a hotel room. Izuku answered. And anything else? I've never had those feelings before. What feelings? Joy. Both Ziri and Violet looked at the greenette as she was blushing and averting her eyes from them. Izuku, you've never felt like that before, have you? Violet asked, and the greenette shook her head. Does that mean you enjoyed it? I guess I did. Me and 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 never got farther than a makeout session, so what me and that man did last night was something I'd never done, and I did like it. Izuku noted. Well, look on the bright side, at least you're back in the dating market. Violet stated. Good morning, appealing people. A man yelled as he walked into the hospital. You spoke too soon, Violet. Why is your brother so loud and annoying first thing in the morning? Ziri asked. No clue, Teddy, he's coming this way. Violet said as she pulled Ziri and they left the greenette alone. No wait, guys dash, Izuku. Izuku sighed as she turned her attention to the man as he had hair as white as snow and silver eyes, and a smile that could honestly make doves pass out. Good morning, Izuku. Good morning, Albin. Izuku answered, sounding annoyed. Did you get the little present I left at your desk this morning? Yes, I did, Albin, thank you for the candy. Again. Izuku said. Oh, don't make that face, you can enjoy the candy and it'll make you feel better. Sure. The last time I ate your candy, it was a box of chocolates that had liquor mixed in them that caused me to get drunk. There is no way I will trust this man in eating whatever he gives me again. Izuku thought. So, a little bird told me that you and your boyfriend broke up. What? How did you know that? Ding ding, that little bird was you, he teased as he booped her nose. Arg, what you want? Izuku asked. I'm so glad you asked. Go on a date with me this weekend, you won't regret it. Albin requested. No, I'm busy already. With what? In case you forgot, Albin, I work on the weekends because there wasn't enough help before. Someone has to save lives on the weekends too. Izuku stated. You can take one weekend off, can't you? Albin, you're already older than me, can't you act your age and be an adult for once? You're almost you're not allowed to say my age. Albin exclaimed as he slammed his hand over the greenette's mouth. Then I take my offer as a no. Albin asked. Izuku raised an eyebrow and he soon lifted his hand off her mouth and sighed. Very well, maybe next time. I'll be waiting for the day you want to go on a date with me. See you later. Albin said and left. The greenette scoffed at his remark while Violet and Ziri walked back up to her. Sorry about that, Izuku. Didn't mean to leave you behind like that. Again. Ziri said. It's fine. Huh? Violet-senpai, why is your brother so annoying? It's like every time he sees me, he tries to take the opportunity to ask me out, and now that I'm single again, it's gonna be harder for me to find an excuse. Izuku remarked. You didn't even meet him when he was a hero, he was an absolute nightmare. Flirting with anyone he saw and then putting all the blame on me to try and fix his situation. You'd think that since he's my older brother, that he'd help me out every once in a while, but no. Violet scoffed. So glad I was a single child. Ziri muttered. It's just, why is your family so weird, Violet-senpai? Your brother, Albin, has been trying to get a date with me ever since I started working here. Your sister, Celine, has hated me since I started working here. And then there's you, who's nothing like them and has been nice to me since I got here. Izuku stated. It's not like I'm the only one in my family that's nice, you haven't met my other brother. Violet noted, that perked the greenette's attention. Other brother? What other brother? Oh, wasn't your other brother a hero in America for a while? Ziri asked. Izuku, ever heard of the war hero, Ares? Why yeah. That's my other brother. Izuku felt her body go cold, not what she was expecting to hear. Why you mean? The quote-unquote hero that is noted to be like the Greek god of war, Ares. That Ares? Izuku asked with beady eyes. That Ares, his name's Reed, and if I'm not mistaken he just returned back to Japan not too long ago and is still single dash. Do you think I can get a date with him? Whoa, looks like you've moved on fast from Shindo. Well yeah, like you said, I'm back in the dating market. And if things end up well with your other brother, then I don't have to get annoyed by Albin bothering me. You're not just saying this because you're desperate for someone to be your boyfriend, just so Albin will leave you alone, right? Ziri asked. No, I've always been interested in the hero, Ares, and since he's your brother, and he's single, I gotta take a shot at it. Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try. I'll message my brother in a little bit to see if he's available. Yes. Violet, you're a lifesaver. Literally or figuratively. As he and a few other heroes were on patrol like usual, the blonde kept trying to think about what could have happened the night before. This man is Katsuki Bakugo, otherwise known as the #1 hero, Dynamite, and though he's been a hero for quite some time, he still holds a very important secret that no one is allowed to know about, except for one person, his doctor. This can't be happening. I made sure he wouldn't appear for so long, and after all these years. He couldn't have appeared again. The last time he was here was back in high school, and that was when I had feelings for Dadash. Hey Bakugo, what's the hold up? One of his friends, Kirishima, Red Riot yelled. Come on, you're usually the one taking the lead. Another of his friends, Kaminari Ike, Charge Bolt noted. Yeah, you're not acting like yourself today. Everything good? Another of his friends, Siro Ike, Cellophane asked. Yeah, I gotta go take care of something. See you guys later. Katsuki answered and started walking in the opposite direction. The only way to figure this out is if I go talk to that doctor to see if he really appeared. Just when I thought I fixed everything and now this happens. Katsuki thought as he stomped his way through the busy streets. Katsuki entered the hospital, didn't have to ask anyone where to go, and walked through the halls of the hospital and then walked up to a certain door and started banging on the door. He could faintly hear, alright, I'm coming. What is dash? The door opened and a man with black hair and deep midnight blue eyes with glasses on opened the door. Katsuki. Takashi, I need to talk to you about something, it's really important. Katsuki. Takashi, I need to talk to you about something, it's really important. It's been a while since the last time you had to see me, so what's this about? Takashi asked. This is Takashi Gunner. He's 28 years old and is a doctor at the same hospital Izuku works at, and he's very talented in his field of healing and saving people. Not only is he Katsuki's personal doctor, but he's also technically Izuku's brother-in-law since he married Izuku's cousin. Katsuki entered the office and then slammed the door shut and then jerked his head to look at Takashi. Something bad's happened, and I need your help. Katsuki stated. My help? The only time I've needed to help you was when he appeared. That's the thing he has. Katsuki answered and Takashi went silent. What? I'm not 100% sure if he has really appeared, but I don't remember anything that happened last night. Katsuki explained. You don't remember what happened to you last night? That can't be good. Sit down. Takashi said as he walked over to his desk. Katsuki sat down right away and sighed at the stress he was feeling. It's been almost 10 years since the last time he appeared, and whatever happened this time, there has to be a reason why he appeared last night. Katsuki stated. Right, then tell me everything that you do remember from yesterday before you blacked out. Takashi asked. Let's see, I went on patrol and nothing bad happened during that time, until I started getting stressed and annoyed about something. What were you annoyed with? That's right, it was Ochako. Your girlfriend. You got annoyed with her again, what did she do this time? Takashi asked. I think she was bringing up stuff about other people getting in relationships or something, and that annoyed me. It annoyed me that she was bringing up stuff like that again. That dash. Katsuki paused and tried to find his words. That you did what? Katsuki looked up at the doctor and answered, I broke up with her. Takashi was expecting it to be more of a theatrical response, but after hearing that he sighed. Katsuki, how many more times are you and Uraraka going to break up? No, I'm serious this time. I told her it was over and that I don't want to do this relationship anymore, but after I called her, it didn't feel like my stress was gone. I know it's not the best way to break up with someone, but we've broken up so many times that I gave up. Katsuki explained. So what did you do after you called her to break up with her? Oh yeah, I went to a bar to have a drink, and I think I had more than I was planning on having. Katsuki answered. Do you remember anything happening before you blacked out? Takashi asked. There was this voice, and I think they were trying to talk to me. Was it him? No, it was a girl's voice, and they sounded really familiar to me. Katsuki said. Really familiar? Was it Uraraka's voice? No, I can't remember who they sound like. Okay, then what do you remember once you did wake up from your blackout? Takashi asked. I woke up in a hotel room. Not in your condo. Yeah. And someone else was there. Who? Well, someone was there, but they already left by the time I woke up. I wasn't wearing any clothes, and my back's covered in scratches, and I think he used my body to have sex with someone. Katsuki stated. Takashi batted his eyes a few times and recalled how earlier that morning, when he'd just gotten to the hospital, Izuku had just run into the hospital and looked like she was wearing her last night clothes. If he used Katsuki's body to have sex with someone, that someone might be Izuku. I did notice how Izuku kept saying her body was sore and how tired she looked when we had our meeting this morning. Could it be? And you're certain you don't remember anything that happened after you went to that bar? I'm positive it had to be him. Katsuki exclaimed. Then, do you think I could talk to him? What? The second he appears, he's not gonna wanna leave. It's the only way to figure out if he really did appear and have sex with someone last night. Takashi explained. He's right. Then as soon as he talks, you're gonna force him to give me my body back. I promise. Katsuki sighed and sat back in the chair and closed his eyes as Takashi sat there and waited for him to open his eyes. After 5 minutes of waiting, Katsuki slowly opened his eyes and looked up to see Takashi still sitting in front of him. Is that you? Takashi asked. Katsuki's eyes widened and a large smile grew on his face. Takashi! What's up? It's good to see you again. Kei exclaimed. Yes, it's good to see you too, Kei. As much as I want to have a nice conversation with you, I had to ask Katsuki to give up his body for a little bit so I can talk to you about something. Takashi explained. Oh sure, that's great. So what is it you need to talk to me about? Kei asked. It's about yesterday. Katsuki says that he doesn't remember anything that happened last night, and he wants to know if it was you that appeared. Takashi said. Last night? I had a great night last night. Kei stated. Really? Was it that great? Of course. I got to see Izuku again. Takashi felt a shiver go down his spine. So it really was Izuku. Would you mind telling me all that happened before you blacked out? Let's see. Flashback. Katsuki slowly opened his eyes to hear a female voice coming from next to him. Am I? Is this really me? But why am I in a bar? Kei thought, looking around from where he was sitting. Are you okay? Kei moved his eyes to see where the female voice was coming from and froze in place to see it was her appealing brunette with beaming emerald green eyes looking at him with worry. Is that Izuku? He thought in awe. For a second I thought you passed out. Then that would have been really awkward for me. Izuku said with a little giggle. She's appealing, even better than the last time I saw her. She's grown up and she's still sweet and kind. Kei thought. Are you a light drinker? Izuku asked. No, I can handle drinking for a really long time. Kei answered. Really? You're better than me, this is my second drink and I'm already getting a little tipsy. Izuku stated with another giggle. Is she flirting with me? I don't remember her ever flirting with me in the past. Kei thought. To be honest, I didn't think I'd end up in a bar tonight since I originally had plans with someone else. Izuku confessed. And what happened to those plans? Oh, they deceived me and made me feel like a fool for believing in them, and now here I am. Just when I thought I'd be spending the entire night with them, but I was seriously mistaken. Izuku explained. She was deceived by who? Kei thought. And just when I thought I was gonna have the best night of my life, a night that I would never forget, but I was sadly wrong. What a great birthday present this is for me. Izuku claimed as she took another sip of her drink. Does that mean she doesn't have anyone to spend the rest of the night with? So, Izuku looked at him and a blush grew on her cheeks and she started to gaze into his eyes. Can I spend the entire night with you instead? Kei asked. And if I say yes, will you give me a birthday present? She asked as she leaned her face towards him. She's actually considering it. I want to do it. I'll give you the best birthday present that you'll never want to forget about. Like the sound of that? Kei asked with a smile as he leaned his face towards her. I like the sound of that very much, she answered as she rested one of her hands onto his cheek and leaned in more and pressed her lips onto his. Looks like I'm not gonna disappear anytime soon. Kei thought as he yearned for more of their kiss. Back to present, so you ended up having section with Izuku? Takashi asked. That was one of the best nights I've ever had since I became Katsuki's second personality. I'm so glad I woke up to see Izuku sitting right there next to me. Kei said as his cheeks blushed happily. Not what I was expecting to get wrapped up in, but this is Katsuki's second personality after all. Takashi thought. I see, but you do realize that you appearing might be a problem for Katsuki now. Especially since Katsuki's the #1 hero now. Is he really? Wow, he must have been working really hard in the time that I was gone. Does that mean he and Izuku are dating too? No, Katsuki just broke up with Uraraka. Ochako. Wow, what made him pick Ochako over Izuku. I'd prefer Izuku any day, especially now that I've had AC with her. Kei exclaimed. Kei, listen to me, if you stay around, Katsuki will wind up feeling terrible again, and you know how bad he looked back then, right? Takashi asked. Of course I do, but he was only feeling terrible because he picked the wrong person to be with. I can tell he's been terrible in the time that I haven't been around. When I was around before, he enjoyed life more because I was helping him out. And now that I'm here again, I'll make sure he enjoys life again, and this time, I'll make sure he picks Izuku this time. Well, I take that back. It's more like I want him to be around Izuku and then he can let me appear and keep her all to myself. But you get what I mean, right? Kei explained. He's not wrong actually. In the time that Katsuki's been dating Uraraka, he's looked miserable. When's the last time Katsuki's actually talked to Izuku? Has it been since they were in high school? Takashi thought. Tell you what, if you promise to only appear at night so that Katsuki can be himself and still be the #1 hero during the day, then I'm fine with you being around. Takashi said. Great. On one condition. What? You are not allowed to be around Izuku without Katsuki's consent. Takashi said. What? But that's not fair. I can tell he hasn't been around her recently, has he? I have a feeling that since you've appeared, he'll probably want to be around Izuku again. But you're not allowed to be around her until he's fine with her. There's still a wall between those two. Oh. Did something happen between Izuku and Katsuki? It'd be better to ask Katsuki about that than me. Just do what you used to do and record yourself so that Katsuki can see it in the morning. Takashi stated, and Kei nodded. Now then, can you please let Katsuki return? Oh, and can you not tell Katsuki that I had CC with Izuku? I want to be the one to tell him instead. Oh, fine. Sweet, thanks Takashi. Kei exclaimed and then went to sleep right away. The second Katsuki opened his eyes, he looked up to see Takashi was still sitting in front of him. Yeah, he's not gonna be leaving anytime soon. Izuku knocked on the door and waited for an answer until the door opened and Melissa was standing there. There you are, I've been waiting all day to hear from you. Melissa exclaimed as she pulled the greenette inside her house and slammed the door behind her. You have to tell me everything, Melissa said once they both reached the couch. I had section. Great. But it wasn't with Yokuin. Alright. Izuku sighed as she clasped her hands together and looked up at the blonde. Yokuin was cheating on me, Izuku stated. Oh no, I'm so sorry Izuku. Yeah. I saw him with his arms around another girl, and when I called him to ask if we were meeting up, he claimed that something important happened, and so we cancelled our date. Izuku said. What? Does that mean he was actually planning on dumping you before you found out he was cheating on you? Probably, it makes sense now that I think back to when he said last night was gonna be special. Yeah, a special breakup. So how'd you end up having SEC with someone else? You remember that card you gave me that would allow me to drink for free at that bar? Yeah. Wait, you still have that? I gave that to you 2 years ago, and that was before you started dating Shindo. Yeah, well I used it last night and met someone there, and ended up having SEC with them. Izuku answered. Oh wow, look at you. Instead of crying the night away, you went off and had SEC with someone else right away. Good for you, Izuku. So who's the lucky guy? Melissa asked. I don't know. What you mean you don't know? You're the one that had EC with them, not me. I know, but... Do you remember what he looks like at least? I took my contacts out before I went to the bar. What? Why would you do that? Because I'd cried after I found out Yokuin was cheating on me, so I took them out because they were burning my eyes. And because I didn't have my glasses, I ended up meeting a stranger while practically blind. Izuku explained. Okay, then what about his name? It didn't ask for his name either. Oh come on, what made you think to talk to a stranger when you already couldn't see what they looked like and not ask for their name? I was already tipsy by the time we were talking. Izuku yelled. Okay, then you surely got his phone number, right? Oh my god. You were really reckless. Melissa stated. I was drunk and basically desperate to have 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐦𝐸𝐶 with someone. Yeah, that's someone that you're probably never gonna meet again. So what are you gonna do now? Violet Senpai said she'd help me by setting up a date with me and her brother. That's good news, right? Izuku answered. Her brother? You mean Albin? The one that has been asking to go on a date with you since you started working as a doctor? Melissa asked with worry. No, not that one, her other brother, right? Izuku answered. Never heard of him. Ever heard of the famous war hero Ares? The Ares, who was in the top 10 of the best heroes in America. That Ares. Yes, that Ares. She said that he just came back to Japan and that he's single, and she said she'd try and set up a date for me to meet him. Izuku explained. Huh, looks like you won't be in the market that long then. Wait, you're not gonna automatically want to date him just so Albin doesn't keep asking you to go on a date with him? Melissa asked. I'm serious in saying that I really want to meet Reed. I've been a huge fan of his for a really long time, and it's not like he isn't good looking either, because he is. Izuku stated. Isn't he a few years older than you? He's only 28, soon to be 29, that's only 4 years apart, it's not like he's 20 years older than me. Izuku said. The second it got silent in the room, the greenette's phone started ringing and she looked to see it was Violet calling her. Oh, that must be the good news. Hold on. Izuku said, before she finally answered the phone. Hey, Izuku. Great news. Reed said he'd love to go on a date with you, and he said that he could meet you this Saturday night. Awesome, I'm perfectly fine with Saturday night. Great, I'll send you his phone number and you two can get to talking. And I'll give you more info about my brother tomorrow at work. Thank you so much, Violet Senpai. Just remember that because I'm helping you on a date as a favor, it means you've got to help me in the future. Got it, and I won't forget. Bye. Sounds like you've got plans for Saturday night, huh? Melissa asked. Yep. I'm already so excited and it's Thursday. Wait, what should I wear for my date? Why don't I ask you something that's probably more important first? So you're not even gonna try and figure out who you had 𝐒𝐮𝐸𝐸𝐶 with? Melissa asked. As much as I do want to figure out who that guy is. It's practically impossible since I don't know what he looks like, I didn't get his name or phone number, and just because I remember his voice does not mean I should just walk up to guys and ask to hear their voice. Izuku answered. That's true, but if you're gonna end up dating Reed, please don't make it a bad excuse that you're only dating him just so Albin doesn't annoy you. I told you before, Melissa, I've always been a fan of his and have always wanted to meet him. And he is handsome in that hero suit of his. Please don't tell me you only think he's handsome in his hero suit. Katsuki got home after feeling defeated with everything he was told that day when he was at the hospital. But why did Takashi tell me that stupid and annoying piece of SHT wouldn't leave me alone? He thought as he collapsed onto the couch. He just had to appear when I was drunk and do something that will make me regret doing it. He thought. Flashback, well. Yeah, he's not gonna be leaving anytime soon. Calm down, I know how much you hate K when he takes over your body. Just hearing that stupid name makes me wanna punch the SHT out of him. Katsuki growled. If you would just listen to me for a second, I have an idea to fix all of this. Takashi stated. What? Let him take over my body at night or something. You took the words right out of my mouth. Katsuki froze and then jolted his head up at the doctor. What? No way in Fing hell am I letting him take over my body at night. Just listen, Katsuki, it's the only time you're not working as a hero, so it would make sense for him to be out at night. So, as much as you don't want to, you have to remember it's your body, and if you don't want to end up making him upset, then he'll just keep trying to take over your body. As long as you set some ground rules, you should be fine. Takashi said. Ground rules, how the hell am I gonna even talk to him? Easy, you remember when you used to videotape yourself for him to see when he was awake? Just do that. I've already told him that he can be out during the night, so whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to deal with him having a little freedom with your body until we can find a better solution. Takashi said. Tease fine. Does that mean he actually used my body to have 𝐒𝐮𝐸𝐸𝐶 with someone? I'm gonna let K tell you everything. So just leave him a note at home before you go to sleep for him to wake up and see it. Takashi said. Arg, why are you siding with him? I'm not siding with anyone, it's that it seems you ended up causing trouble to yourself, and he either fixed that problem or made it worse. It's up to you and Kei to figure it out. Takashi said. Back to present, Katsuki sat up from the couch and rubbed his hair after thinking about what Takashi told him. The only way I'm gonna know the truth is if I ask him myself. He thought as he stood up from the couch and walked through his condo and opened one of the doors that led to an office. He walked up to the desk and sat down at the chair and opened up his computer and made sure the camera was recording his face. He sat there for a few seconds, staring at the camera, until he could finally find the right words to say. Huh, looks like you're back. And as much as I don't want you here, I've got no choice because you know something that I don't. Takashi said that I should let you take over my body at night, and as much as I don't want you to, I know you're only gonna keep bothering me until I let you. But just because I'm letting you use my body at night, doesn't mean you can live freely, because I have some rules that you have to follow. You're only allowed to take over my body at night, never during the day. Since I'm now the #1 hero, people will think something bad's happened to me if you try acting like me. If you ever go out in public, you're to wear a disguise that covers your face completely. Since I'm famous, it's hard for me to walk around without a disguise, so you're gonna do the same, even if there's not a lot of people outside. And you're not allowed to keep secrets from me, and that includes whoever you slept with while using my body. You're gonna tell me who you slept with, and don't even try to lie to me about it. You might think this is all a joke to you, but I was doing just fine without you around, so when you're in my body, try not to make my life miserable again. I've changed and I'm not a kid anymore. The sooner you leave my life, the sooner I won't be miserable. Katsuki ended the recording and then turned off his computer and laid back in his chair. Kei, if you're just gonna end up using my body for SC, I'm not gonna let it slide. Is something wrong, Izuku? Ziri asked. Yeah, you're eating that flower like it's meat. Violet noted. Huh? It's not you guys, it's just. I agreed to go meet up with my old classmates from school. Izuku answered with a groan. That doesn't sound all that terrible, it's the ones that you went to with, right? Yeah, but the problem is that I'm meeting with just the girls of my class, and all of them are dating. And I'm not. Oh geez. Do you really think they'll care if you're single? And it's not like it was your fault you're not dating Shindo anymore. He's the one that decided to cheat on you. Violet stated. I know, but it's still embarrassing that I'm now single. Especially since me and Yokuin aren't dating anymore after 2 years. Izuku whined. Speaking of Shindo, are you gonna stop calling him by his first name? I wouldn't even give him honorifics since he's the one that cheated on you. Ziri noted. That's true. And I really don't want to go tonight. They're all gonna talk about how great their relationships are and I can't just say yokai. I mean Shindo cheated on me and then it was my decision to think having SEC with a stranger was a good idea. I just think they'll say I wasn't thinking things through. Izuku groaned. Well, clearly you weren't thinking since you did have SEC with a stranger. Ziri said. Huh? Izuku, don't think of it like that. Don't you remember that you're gonna go on a date with my brother tomorrow? So just tell your classmates that you and Shindo went your separate ways and that you're planning on meeting someone new tomorrow. Violet suggested. Would they believe it? I'm sure once you told them that you're going on a date with the war hero, Ares, then they'd believe it. Ziri added. That also means you can't say anything about what happened the other night too. Feel better about thinking this through. Yeah, I guess I do. Great. Now can you send these files to Takashi's office? I've got a meeting to go to. Violet asked, handing the greenette a stack of files. What? Why me? Because you're his sister-in-law. But what about you, Ziri-senpai? Oh dear, I've got to go to the ER for an operation. See you guys at lunch. Ziri replied as her and Violet left the greenette alone. Why do they always make me go to Takashi's office when they're the same age as him? And using the sister-in-law is not a great excuse, and me and Emra are cousins. Izuku thought as she left her desk. Back in time slightly. So, it seems you're back to give me some input on how things were when you got home, yes. Takashi asked as he took his seat at his desk. Katsuki groaned as he sat down across from the desk and then scratched his head. Where to Fing begin? I have a Fing hangover because he drank too much using my body. And I'm sore as hell, even my hands hurt. Katsuki groaned. Aha, any clue on what exactly K did with your body last night? He sent me a video, but I was too damn tired to watch it. Seems like K went through the ringer with your body. I wonder what all he went through. Takashi laughed. I don't want to Fing know. Flashback as he slowly opened his eyes. He looked around to see he was lying in bed. Well, where am I? This isn't the hotel I was in with Izuku. K thought as he got out of bed. He glanced over at the nightstand to see a note that was addressed to K on it. Oh, for me. What could this be? He asked himself as he grabbed the note and flipped it over to see it was Katsuki's handwriting. Congrats, you're officially going to put me in misery by using my body again. Where you are right now is my home. It's a condo that I earned after becoming the #1 hero, so don't mess my place up. Once you leave this bedroom, turn to the right and you'll see a door. That door leads to my office. Once you get to my office, go to the desk and sit down and open the computer. There will be a message for you. And just because I'm giving you access to my computer does not mean you can play video games on it like you used to. Still the uptight Katsuki, are we? K asked as he set the note down and left the bedroom and was in awe at how huge the condo was. Whoa, how much money does it cost for rent? Oh wait, the office. K said as he turned his head to see the door that he was expected to see. He opened the door to see how nice and clean the office was and slowly walked over to the desk and sat down in front of the computer. As soon as he logged into the computer, there was a message that popped up for him that said it was a video. A video? What is this? He clicked on the video to see it was Katsuki sitting in that very same seat at the desk and staring at the computer. Huh. Oh, looks like you're back. And as much as I don't want you here, I've got no choice because you know something that I don't. Takashi said that I should let you take over my body at night, and as much as I don't want you to, I know you're only gonna keep bothering me until I let you. What the? He made a video of himself for me to see. It feels like it's been forever since the last time he made a video for me. K noted as he continued watching the video. But just because I'm letting you use my body at night, doesn't mean you can live freely, because I have some rules that you have to follow. But he put rules in place too. That sounds boring, and since has he followed rules for himself? K said as clicked on the video again. You're only allowed to take over my body at night, never during the day. Since I'm now the #1 hero, people will think something bad's happened to me if you try acting like me. Oh yeah, I almost forgot Takashi told me that he's the #1 hero now. He's changed a lot. If you ever go out in public, you're to wear a disguise that covers your face completely. Since I'm famous, it's hard for me to walk around without a disguise, so you're gonna do the same, even if there's not a lot of people outside. Make me use a disguise outside too. Now that's boring. And you're not allowed to keep secrets from me, and that includes whoever you slept with while using my body. You're gonna tell me who you slept with, and don't even try to lie to me about it. Does that mean I really can't go and see Izuku even if I tried? That's not fair. You might think this is all a joke to you, but I was doing just fine without you around, so when you're in my body, try not to make my life miserable again. I've changed and I'm not a kid anymore. The sooner you leave my life, the sooner I won't be miserable. And the video ended. Why does he keep saying that I make his life miserable when he created me to comfort him? He really has a strange personality for himself, which is why I'm so glad I'm here to use his body when I can. So since he knows I had sex with someone, should I tell him that it was Izuku? Nah, I'll tease him for a bit and then I can tell him. Now what to do for the night? Back to present. So it seems to me that he used your little gym that's in your condo and then he drank as much as he could until he realized that it was time to go to sleep. Now can we watch the video since I honestly want to know what he said? Takashi stated. Fine. Here. Katsuki said, as he handed his phone to the doctor. Thank you. Takashi said as he grabbed the phone and pressed the play button right away. Hi Katsuki. It's so nice of you to finally let me have some free time using your body again. To be honest, I didn't think it would take you getting drunk for me to appear, But I'm not complaining since I had the best first night back ever. Oh yeah, sorry if your body's tired and sore, I just haven't used it in a while and am wanting to test out your physical strength since it's been so long. Oh, and I'm sure you're probably wondering who exactly you had CC with that night, right? Well, guess what? I'm not telling you. What? As much as I'm sure you'd love to know who you had SEC with, it's a lot more fun knowing that you have no clue who it was you spent the entire night with. So until I think it's the right time to tell you, I'm gonna keep it a secret, unless that person decides to tell you, but I highly doubt that'll happen soon. Anyway, thanks for letting me use your body for the time being, and I'll keep having fun until I'm completely satisfied, which will be never. Bye. And the video ended. That piece of SHT. Does he have anything clue on what I'm having to deal with right now? What makes him think he's allowed to keep a secret from me just because he's using my body? Why can't he just go away? Katsuki yelled as he then laid back in his chair and was exhausted from his mini tantrum. You feeling better after letting it out now? Takashi asked. No, I'm not. I was living perfectly fine for the past 10 years, and then he decided to just appear just because I got drunk. This pisses me off that I want to beat these out of him and dash. Oh, I didn't know you had a patient, Takashi. Katsuki stopped talking and immediately jerked his head to see a very familiar brunette standing at the door. Oh, I didn't know you had a patient, Takashi. Katsuki stopped talking and immediately jerked his head to see a very familiar brunette standing at the door. Katsuki was in awe as he stared at the brunette, as it seemed she looked 10 times more appealing than when she did in high school. With her long and slightly curly dark green hair, wearing a white lab coat and glasses on her face covering her beady emerald green eyes and her classic freckles on her blushed cheeks made the blonde's heart start to race. Izuku, do you need something? Takashi asked. Sorry, Weiss, Violet-senpai asked me to give you these files since she had to go to a meeting. Izuku said, walking past Katsuki and handing Takashi the small stack of files. Oh, thank you. And we'll be having a meeting later today as well. Takashi said. Then I'm gonna go back and see if there's any new patients that need to be treated. Excuse me. Izuku said as she made a slight bow and quickly walked past Katsuki and was out of the office. Takashi noticed how Katsuki had beamed his eyes at the brunette the entire time and a hue of pink tinted his cheeks. I see you've moved on from Uraraka already, is that it? Takashi asked. What? I like being single, no one's on my back bothering me about it, Katsuki scoffed, averting his eyes from the doctor. If I'm not mistaken, Izuku and her boyfriend just broke up too, and it was just recently. Takashi said, while looking through the files he was just given. What? I'm sure if you tried to have a normal conversation with her, she wouldn't mind. Takashi suggested as he glanced up at the blonde. I don't need to talk to her, it's not like we're best friends or anything. But you were at one point, weren't you? Takashi asked. Yeah, but not anymore. And why is that? Is it because she only saw you as competition to become the best hero? In case you forgot, Katsuki, Izuku retired from hero work 2 years ago and became a doctor right away. It's clear to see that she's not aiming at being a hero in the light anymore. Stop looking at the past and at least try to strike up a conversation with her. I'm sure it'll make her feel better judging from her recent breakup. Takashi encouraged. As she sat at her desk trying to read through some documents, Izuku suddenly dropped her head onto her desk and her cheeks turned red. Holy whoa, I've seen him in magazines, billboards and even on TV, but Kakens. Why does he look way hotter in person? And the way he was looking at me when I was in Takashi's office, it was like he was staring me down and trying to make sure I didn't make a mistake. But I saw it, I saw the blush on his cheeks the moment he laid eyes on mine. He's never made that face before, not at me at least. Wait, why is my heart racing at just thinking about it? I have a date with Reed tomorrow, I shouldn't be thinking about Kaken when he's dating Uraraka. Yeah, Izuku doesn't know that Katsuki broke up with Uraraka, but she will soon. Moving on. Looks like someone has a headache, huh? Izuku jerked her head up off her desk and looked displeased to see Albin leaning onto her desk and looking down at her. Hello again, Albin, what you want? I can see that you're a little frustrated with something, so it sounds to me like you should spend your lunch break with a certain someone. Albin hummed. And who is that certain someone? Izuku asked in an annoyed tone. Well, I'm so glad you asked, it's me of course. No thanks. Albin leaned off her desk and walked over to stand next to her as she remained sitting in her chair and started looking through her documents. Oh come on, Izuku, I've been so nice to you ever since you got here, so why do you keep turning me down? Albin asked. Because I'm not interested, and I'm already stacked with enough work today that I'm just gonna work through my lunch. Izuku answered. But you were so nice to me when we first met, don't you remember? How could I forget that day? Flashback, everyone, this is Izuku Midoriya, and she was also known by her hero name of Deku. She may be a retired hero, but she's become a hero here at our hospital. Please be kind to her, and she will help more patients with her abilities. Takashi announced as the Greenette was surrounded by a large crowd of staff in the hospital on her first day working there. Izuku, these two are who you will be working with most of the time. This is Violet Ibis and Ziri Yudoku. Takashi introduced to the Greenette. We've heard many things about you, and we're still not used to the fact that you're related to Emra. Violet said. I've heard a lot about your healing quirk, so I look forward to seeing it in action. Ziri noted. Of course, I look forward to working with you too. Good morning, appealing people. Oh no. He's late like always. Albin, how many times do I have to tell you that you can't be late? Violet said as she stormed up to Albin. I'll let Violet and Ziri show you around. Takashi said and then walked off. Oh Violet, you know I'm not an early bird like you. Yes, but when you're in this field, you have to be. Oh. And who's this? Albin asked, looking over at Izuku. Oh geez, Izuku, this is Albin Tenchi, he's my brother. Violet said in an annoyed tone. Older brother, might I add? And you are? Oh, Izuku Midoriya, I used to be a hero known as Deku, but now I'm a doctor. Izuku said, bowing to the man. Oh, you were a hero. I used to be a hero myself. Albin said. Really? Yes, Albin used to be a hero. He was known as the sun and healing hero Apollo. Violet said. You're Apollo. Izuku yelled. Albin, Violet and Ziri looked at the Greenette, as they surely weren't expecting that outburst. Well, yes I am. I'm such a big fan of heroes. I've actually always wanted to meet you. It's such an honor to meet you, and I hope we can work well together. Izuku said, as she bowed to the man over and over. I see, and I look forward to working with you as well, Izuku. Back to present, like I could forget that day either. I completely regret being so nice to him, because if I'd have known he'd flirt with me after that first day, I wouldn't have been so nice in the first place. Izuku thought. If you're busy for lunch, how about you and I go on a date tonight? Albin asked. No thank you, I already have plans tonight anyway. Izuku answered. And what are those plans, work? No, I'm meeting up with some old classmates of mine. Perfect, why not I go with you so you can introduce me to your classmates as your soon-to-be boyfriend? What? And when are you gonna stop trying to ask me to go on a date with you? Izuku yelled. Because I know you're currently single and that you have a crush on me. When did I ever say I had a crush on you? Look, leave while I'm being nice, I'm not interested and there is no way I will let you go with me to see my old classmates. Izuku said. Oh Izuku, even when you yell like that, it's still attractive. Albin noted as he rested his hands onto the back of her chair and forced her chair to turn and have her face look at him. What is not attractive is when a man is pressuring a woman when the woman has already said to get lost. Izuku snapped. Oh please Izuku, what's it gonna take for you to have a single meal with me? Albin asked as he slowly rested his hand under her chin and his other hand on top of her hand. Geez, I want to punch him, but this is a hospital and I don't want to get in trouble. He doesn't even smell good when he's this close to my face. Izuku thought. Oh, have you changed your mind? What should I do to make you like me back? Albin asked. What neither Izuku or Albin expected was for Albin's hand, that was resting under Izuku's chin, to be grabbed by someone and then get pulled behind his back and his head slammed down onto the desk. What the hell? Who did dash? Maybe if you didn't act like a piece of SHT that thinks it's okay to touch her, she would change her mind. Albin's eyes widened as he could tell it was the voice of a man. Izuku looked up and felt a shiver down her spine as she witnessed Katsuki holding Albin, against his will, onto the desk. Kaken. Wait, does Izuku know who this is? Albin thought. Mr. Dynamite, you can let him go now. Izuku exclaimed. Dynamite? Wait, isn't that the #1 hero? Albin thought. I'm not letting him go until he apologizes. Katsuki stated and looked down at Albin. Well. Okay, I'm really sorry for bothering you, Izuku. Now can you let me go? Albin asked. Katsuki released him and Albin instantly started walking away after bowing to him and then was gone. T-Thief prick. You okay, de? Katsuki asked, looking down at the greenette. Wise, I'm fine. Thank you, B, but you didn't have to do that. Izuku stuttered. It's fine, I could tell he was bothering you, so I thought I should do something. Katsuki stated, and then there was an awkward silence. What's he doing? I told him thank you, so why isn't he leaving? Izuku thought. What should I say? It's been so long since I last talked to her, that I look like an idiot just standing here. Katsuki thought. Sorry if I interrupted your little meeting with Takashi earlier. Izuku noted. It's fine, you weren't interrupting anything. Katsuki said, while averting his gaze from her. Alright. How've you been? Izuku wasn't sure if she heard that right and looked up at the blonde. Yeah. I said how've you been, he asked. Oh, I'm doing just fine. Busy as always, seems like I'm a lot busier than when I was a hero. Izuku answered with nervousness. I got it. And what about you, she asked. I'm fine, but I'm a lot busier too, he said as he started scratching the back of his neck. I can tell, being the #1 hero is a lot of work. Izuku noted. Yeah. That guy. Izuku looked up at him as he pointed at where Albin just left. Is he always like that? And not usually. He usually tries to ask me to go on a date with him, but I always decline since I'm always busy. Izuku answered. I got it. Long pause for awkward silence as neither of them are sure what to say next. Shouldn't you get back to work? Both of them asked in unison. Sorry. I just figured that you had to patrol soon, so dash. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure you've got things to do too. Both of them stated as they both started to blush with embarrassment. Then I'll get going. Why? And nice seeing you again. Izuku muttered. Yeah, you too, he answered back as he slowly left the hospital. The second the blonde was out of her sight, Izuku dropped back into her chair and felt like her head was spinning after what she just experienced. Holy whoa, please tell me that was a dream. This is something I definitely gotta tell Melissa about. Izuku was pacing back and forth after she'd gotten off work for the day and couldn't stop walking around her place with worry. The second she heard the sound of knocking at her front door, she ran over to open the door for Melissa to be standing there and she was out of breath. Huff, I got here as fast as I could. You said you had something to tell me. I do, come in, hurry. Izuku said as the blonde entered her place. They both sat down on the couch and Melissa could finally catch a breath. Okay, what is it you wanted to talk about? It's about Kaken. Whoa, wait, as in the #1 hero, Katsuki Bakugo. What happened? Yes, that Katsuki Bakugo, listen, he showed up at my work today. Izuku said. Oh dash. You do remember that you work at a hospital, right? I know, but something happened. Well then tell me. Okay, so first Violet-senpai asked me to take some files to Takashi's office. So far, simple. Melissa muttered. And when I went to Takashi's office, Kaken was in there and talking to Takashi. Okay, that sounds normal. But it wasn't normal after what happened after I left Takashi's office. Izuku stated. What happened? Well, I was at my desk, working, and Albin came up to bother me. Oh no, did he try to ask you to go on a date with him again? Yes, but that's not it. Albin seemed off today, and by off I mean getting really close to me and was up in my face off. That son of who, what did you do? Melissa asked. As much as I wanted to punch him, I remembered that since he is my co-worker, I shouldn't cause violence. What? If he's up in your face, that's past the point of no return and you should have punched him in the face. Melissa exclaimed. But there was someone else who stopped him instead. What? Who? Kaken. Wait, back up, he stopped Albin. How? He pulled Albin away from me and then pushed Albin's face onto my desk and held him against his will. Izuku mumbled quickly. Melissa batted her eyes a few times and was certainly not expecting that kind of response. So, he saved you. In a way. Yeah. Holy see, do you know what that means, Izu? And know what? He likes you, Izu. Melissa exclaimed as she grabbed the greenette by her shoulders. What? No way. Why would he like me when he's still dating Uraraka? You never know, Izu, maybe he's losing those feelings he had for Uraraka and is getting interested in you. That can't be right. He and Uraraka have been dating for so long, and there's no way he would like me, especially with everything that happened in high school. I don't know, Izu, saving your crush sounds like something a guy who's interested in someone would do. Melissa hummed. It doesn't help that once he took care of Albin. He started talking to me. Really? About what? It was just casual conversation, but I haven't talked to him in a really long time. Izuku mumbled. You must have liked him talking to you, huh? And not entirely, it's just. I should not be thinking this way. I have a date with Reed tomorrow, so I shouldn't be thinking about Kaken. Izuku yelled, trying to shake these thoughts out. So what are you doing tonight? I have to go see the girls in my old class. Oh, let me guess, they're gonna talk about their dating lives, aren't they? Yeah. Hey, don't look so down, remember, you have a date with the amazing war hero, Ares, tomorrow. You should feel proud that you're not with Shindo anymore, he didn't deserve you anyway. Melissa said, trying to cheer the greenette up. I guess you're right. You know I'm right. I just have a feeling I'll be the only one that's single. Single right now. You'll be dating the right person this time around, just don't overthink these things. Melissa stated. Yeah. Do you think you can help me find something to wear for tonight? Of course I'm gonna help you out. Izuku stood in front of the restaurant she was supposed to meet her old classmates at and felt her entire body shake with worry. As long as they don't ask me about my love life, I should be fine, right? And just because Kaken talked to me doesn't mean anything since he and Uraraka are dating. So, just don't let all the attention get to you, and we'll be fine. Should I just stay out here until someone else comes? Midoriya. The greenette turned her head to see a woman with long straight black hair and silver-gray eyes looking at her. Hi Yaoyorozu. Izuku answered. Wow, you look so much different since the last time I saw you. You look really pretty. Yaoyorozu said happily. Thanks. All it took was for me to be cheated on and have a one-night stand, I guess. Izuku thought. You look really pretty tonight too. Thank you. I would have gotten here sooner, but Todoroki just wouldn't let me go. Yaoyorozu said with a blush blooming on her cheeks. Oh yeah, I forgot Yaoyorozu and Todoroki are dating. They've been dating for a long time now, haven't they? Izuku thought. Momo Yaoyorozu, otherwise known by her hero name, Kriati, and not only is she a appealing soon-to-be 24-year-old, but she's quite intelligent as well. This lovely young woman is dating the number 2 hero, Shoto, who also went to U. With both Yaoyorozu and Izuku. Shoto and Yaoyorozu have been dating since their 3rd year in high school. Are you here late because Shindo was with you, Midoriya? That name made the greenette cringe and she tried to make it not too obvious. Why don't we go inside and see if the other girls are here? Izuku asked, trying to change the subject. Though Yaoyorozu wasn't expecting the sudden change of topic, she nodded with the greenette and they both went inside. The second they walked in, both of them were looking around the place. Geez, it's been so long since the last time I've been here, and that was back when me and Shindo were dating. Where do you think we should sit? Yaoyorozu asked, before the sound of crying erupted in their ears. It sounds like one of them is already here. Izuku said as she was looking around. The greenette followed where the crying was coming from to see her old classmates already there, And the one crying just happened to be Uraraka. Wait, why is she crying? Izuku thought. Oh, Midoriya, 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐬𝐚𝐫𝐲, there you two are. Sit down. Mina said, wanting them to get closer. Izuku and 𝐒𝐮𝐦𝐬𝐚 slowly sat down while keeping their eyes on the crying brunette that was in front of them, Ochako Uraraka. Hi ladies. What's going on with Uraraka? Izuku and 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐚 asked. I can't believe it. Sniffle, why did he want to break up with me? Uraraka whined. That caught the greenette's attention. There had to be a reason why, Ochako, he wouldn't just up and break up with you out of the blue. Tsuyu stated. That's right. Maybe he was just in a bad mood that day and didn't want to talk to anyone about what he was thinking. Hagakure suggested. And it's not like this is the first time you two have broken up. Jiro noted. Sniffle, I know, but he broke up with me over the phone. Katsuki-kun's never done that before. Though he's been the one to say we should break up in the past, he's never broken up with me on the phone before. Sniffle. Not until now, Uraraka whined as she leaned her head onto Tsuyu and cried more. So Kaken broke up with Uraraka. Is that why he was so nice and wanted to talk to me today? But he can't just move on from Uraraka that easily, he had to have a reason to break up with her this time. Izuku thought. Have you tried calling him to figure out the problem? 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐚 asked. Sniffle. But every time I call, he won't answer. I've even tried to go to his agency for the past 2 days, but he was never there. And because he never gave me the code to his place, I can't even see if he's at home. Sniffle, I just want to know why he had to break up with me on the phone, Uraraka cried. He was at the hospital earlier today, and maybe he was out on patrol the day before when Uraraka tried to talk to him. He seemed fine today when I saw him though. He didn't look like he was grieving over a breakup like I did. Izuku thought. Midoriya, what do you think? Izuku jolted her head up as all the girls were staring at her. About what? Do you think it was Uraraka's fault Bakugo broke up with her? Mina asked. I don't know. Did you do or say anything that bothered him? Izuku asked. Sniffle, no. I've always been careful with what I say because I know how sensitive he can be about certain things. And because both of us have been so busy with work, we haven't managed to have a date together recently. Sniffle, I'm just so confused why he's decided to leave me unread for the past 3 days now. Uraraka said. Wait, Kaken broke up with Uraraka. On Wednesday. The same day I just happened to see Shindo cheating on me. That can't just be a coincidence, right? Izuku thought. Sniffle, if only I knew what he was thinking, then I wouldn't feel so confused and heartbroken. If only I'd known him before high school, then I'm sure I would understand him better. Wait, Deku-chan. Izuku jerked the second the brunette called her. Why yes. You've known Katsuki-kun for a really long time, right? Maybe you can ask him, for me, about why he decided to break up with me. Uraraka exclaimed as she jumped up from her seat. But Uraraka, I'm not a hero anymore, I'm a doctor now. But since you know him way better than me, maybe you can talk some sense into him. Please Deku-chan. I really want to get back together with him really badly. Uraraka begged as she grabbed the greenette's hands and started pouting at her. No, don't give me the pouty face. Fine. Thank you so much, Deku-chan, you're a lifesaver. Uraraka exclaimed as her tears magically disappeared from her face. I'm gonna regret saying yes. Izuku thought as she felt ashamed to agree on something like this. Izuku opened the door leading to her place and sighed after the long walk she just went through after seeing her old classmates. Geez, what did I get myself into? Hey, you're back. And Melissa, what are you still doing here? Well, I figured since you'd probably have some tea to spill about tonight, I decided to stay here until you tell me everything. So, did anything happen at the dinner tonight? Melissa asked. Izuku sighed again as she took off her shoes and stumbled towards the couch and flopped over onto the couch. I'm in deep trouble, Melissa. HM. But what did you do? The greenette sat up and looked at the blonde and said, I agreed to do something I probably shouldn't have agreed to do. What did you agree to? Is it something illegal? No. It's Uraraka. Apparently Kaken broke up with her a few days ago, and Uraraka is still upset about it. Izuku answered. So they broke up again, and why is that so important? Because. Huh? Uraraka asked me to ask Kaken why he decided to break up with her this time. That doesn't make any sense. Why can't she just ask him herself? Melissa asked. She said she'd been trying to get in touch with him since he broke up with her, but it's like he's been avoiding her. And because she still believes that I'm really close friends with Kaken, then I should ask him myself about their relationship. Izuku explained. Okay, and why didn't you say no? Because I couldn't. Don't tell me she did the pouty face at you again. Yeah, that one. Aizu. I know. It's really hard for me to tell people no. But I've known Uraraka for a really long time, and she was going to be really upset if I said no. Izuku groaned. Yes, but it's her love life, not yours. I know. I don't know how I'm going to manage pulling this off anyway. Yeah. Since it's been since high school since the last time you've talked to him, right? Melissa asked. Before today. Yeah. So what are you going to do? It's not like you work with him or he comes to the hospital that often anyway. That's true. Wait, maybe I can ask Takashi when the next time Kaken will come to the hospital. Okay, now you're just gonna try and get in his business, is that it? Well, I don't want Uraraka to be mad at me because I didn't try. Yes, but you could have easily fixed the situation if you'd have just said no in the first place. I know. Weren't you the one that had to confess Uraraka's feelings to Bakugo back in high school too? Yeah. That happened. And why did you agree to do something like that? Because I knew Uraraka and I wouldn't stay friends if I said no. Well, it clearly doesn't matter anymore since you and Uraraka aren't close that much now. Melissa exclaimed. I know, and as much as I didn't want to, I regret helping her out so much in the past. You think, why are you and him so distant anyway? Didn't you say that you and Bakugo were really close at one point? Melissa asked. There's a reason for that. Hold on. Izuku said as she stood up from the couch and walked over to her bookshelf where she grabbed a photo album. The brunette walked back up to the couch and sat down next to the blonde and opened the photo album to be a picture of Izuku, but she was dressed in boy clothes. Remember when I showed you my junior high picture? You mean the one where you were dressed in the boy's uniform? Yeah. I didn't tell you the reason why I was wearing boy clothes back then. Okay, so tell me. It's because my mom made a mistake. Long before I was born and my mom was pregnant with me, the nurse told her the wrong thing in saying that I was going to be a boy. Wait, seriously? And because my mom had gotten the news that she was expecting to have a boy, she and all of her friends bought baby clothes that were boy clothes. And because my mom wanted to be prepared for when she had me, she decided to wash all of those boy clothes and have a clean nursery for when I was born. That was a big mistake though. Because she found out that she was actually having a girl. Yeah. Izuku said as she turned the page in the photo album. Because she'd already taken all the tags off the clothes, there wasn't a return policy, and so she basically forced me to wear boy clothes until I grew out of them and she could buy me new clothes that were meant for a girl. But I'd already met Kaken as a boy before I grew out of those clothes, and because he thought I was a boy too, I basically had to keep a secret from him. And because my mom kept mistaking me to actually be a boy, she kept buying more boy clothes growing up, and the last time she bought me boy clothes was when I was in junior high. Izuku explained. So, is that why you wore the girl's uniform at you? But, since me and Kaken both went to you, he actually thought I was cross-dressing on the first day we both saw each other in high school. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, he soon figured out that I was telling the truth, that I was really a girl when he actually groped me in front of the entire class. He basically kept a distance from me after that. Izuku stated. So, did you still get to really stay as friends with him in high school? Of course, I actually think there was a time when me and him got really close. He was really nice to me at one point too. But that was before Uraraka revealed she had feelings for him, right? And thus I was the one who ended up having to confess Uraraka's feelings to him, instead of my own. Izuku answered. So you really did like him then, huh? Yeah, I did. But ever since he and Uraraka have been dating, I've had to basically crush those feelings I had and let them wither away in my heart. Well, that's depressing, Melissa muttered. And now that I know that Kaken and Uraraka aren't dating anymore, I don't know if I really should help her or not. Izu, are you saying those feelings still exist for Bakugo? Melissa asked. Maybe. A little bit. But I really shouldn't. Especially since I have a date with Reed tomorrow. Then figure out your feelings for Reed first. Izuku looked up at the blonde and raised an eyebrow. Once you meet Reed and learn more about him as a person, then decide on if you really have feelings for Reed or not. If you do, then date him, but if you don't, then maybe you should try and keep having those small feelings for Bakugo. You never know what can happen. Melissa suggested. That's true. Are you sure I shouldn't just crush these small feelings I have for Kaken now? Well, maybe. But you never know if those feelings you have for Bakugo can resurface. But you still haven't met Reed yet, so you never know if the feelings you're having now can change to be for a different person. Melissa explained. Yeah. Do you think you could help me tomorrow too? Of course. But don't you have to work on the weekends now? Oh yeah, I forgot. I'll help you as soon as you get off work. Katsuki sat in the chair, grinding his teeth in anger while Takashi remained calm looking at the blonde. Well, it seems Kei's been using your body a lot, hasn't he? No, Asuchi. I couldn't even think straight when I had patrol this morning. All he's been doing is drinking and exercising my body to the point that I don't even want to get out of bed. Katsuki groaned. Well, at least he's not going out and having AC like he did the first night. Takashi noted. Tis, why can't he just stop appearing and using my body this much? Is he tiring my body out on purpose? Probably. Maybe he's doing all of this as a way of revenge. What? Think about it, Katsuki. Kei hasn't appeared for almost 10 years, and he's probably doing all of this since you shut him out for so long. Takashi explained. As much as the blonde didn't want to agree, the doctor had a pretty good estimated guess on why his body was so tired. Has he left you any more videos since that first one? No, and neither have I. Well, I'm sure if you try and make another video that has more specific ground rules, then maybe he won't tire your body out so much. Takashi suggested. And why should I? He still hasn't told me who he had AC with when he used my body that night. And maybe that's just another reason for the revenge of tiring your body out too. He did tell me that he didn't understand why you chose to date Uraraka. Takashi noted. Tis, why does he care? I think I can understand the situation as to why you shut Kei out for so long, honestly. What? The same time you completely shut Kei out was right when you and Uraraka started dating, wasn't it? I think I can understand the situation as to why you shut Kei out for so long, honestly. What? The same time you completely shut Kei out was right when you and Uraraka started dating, wasn't it? Katsuki batted his eyes to process what he was just told and wasn't sure if he should believe it or not. It was around the same time. But I think I understand when Kei was saying that you were miserable without him around. Takashi noted. Arg, how many times do I have to say it? I'm not miserable, I'm fine. Katsuki yelled and then stood up from his chair and was heading to the door. Where are you going? No point in talking to you today since you're just gonna keep siding with that prick. Katsuki answered as he opened the door and left Takashi's office. I can tell he's frustrated, but that doesn't mean he needs to block out what I'm trying to tell him. Takashi thought once the blonde left. Izuku was sitting at her desk, looking through documents like usual, and just happened to look up at the right time to see Katsuki leaving the hospital. Kaken. I need to talk to him about Uraraka's situation. Mr. Dynamite, she exclaimed and watched as the blonde jerked his head to see her looking up at him. Deku. Why is she calling me? He thought as he walked up to her. What? Hey, listen, I got to see Uraraka yesterday. Yeah, what about it? Izuku felt nervous just from how he was staring down at her. She could easily tell that he wasn't in a good mood, but it was now or never. Well, Uraraka seems pretty upset that you broke up with her. Yeah, and she wants to know why you broke up with her on the phone. Izuku answered. Seriously? Did she ask Deku to talk to me just because we used to be close friends? Katsuki thought. And why should I tell you? It's just. Uraraka is really upset and is confused as to why you broke up with her this time. And since she's my friend too, I figured she asked. You to ask me about this, didn't she? Izuku jerked her head to look up at him. She asked you to talk to me, didn't she? Maybe. It's not like she hasn't tried to talk to you herself, it's just you've been ignoring her. Izuku claimed. I haven't ignored her, I'm just busy doing other things that are more important. Katsuki stated. That's still ignoring. And there's no reason why I should tell you instead of her. Katsuki answered. Well, before she was your girlfriend, she was my best friend, in case you forgot. Izuku stated. Why are other people relying on you to talk to me? They're using you again. Katsuki said. I know that, but I also know that people get mad at me if I say no to not helping them out. It's just natural for me to help. Not the way you should help. And I'm not telling you. Katsuki said. See, can't you at least try to talk to her? I'm sure if you two talk things out, then you two can at least be friends again. Izuku suggested. Katsuki felt his heart start to race the second he saw the brunette's beady eyes pleading to him. Fine, I'll talk to her, so I'm not telling you anything. Thank you. Yeah, he sighed. The two of them remained standing there for another minute in awkward silence and averting their eyes from each other. I figured he would have left by now. Why am I still here? Should I just walk away? He thought, rubbing the back of his head. Katsuki glanced down to see she was blushing while still avoiding his gaze. All of our classmates planned for some kind of reunion tomorrow night, in case you haven't been told yet. Izuku mumbled. No one told me yet, so. Thanks for telling me. And another awkward silence. I should go check on some of my patients. Why, yeah, and I've got patrol to do. See you later. Yes, see ya. Katsuki slowly started walking out of the hospital while Izuku was walking through the halls, both of them walking in opposite directions from each other. Why was that so awkward? It's not like me and Kaken are complete strangers. What's this weird feeling in my chest? Arg, it better not be that prick trying to make me black out and then use my body. Katsuki thought while leaving the hospital. Izuku was walking back to her place and felt exhausted since she'd never worked on the weekend before. Why did I agree in saying that I can work weekends now? I still need to find time to clean up my place and go to the market to buy some things. I'm so tired, she thought. As much as she was tired though, the second she felt her phone buzz, she looked to see who it was and all of her energy was back in mere seconds. Hi Izuku, this is Reed. I hope you didn't forget about our date tonight, because I've been looking forward to it. Where should we meet up? Finally, the day has arrived that I'm going on a date with someone that actually has time to see me. Wait, what should I respond with? She thought and tried to think of what to reply, until it hit her. Of course I'm looking forward to tonight as well. I'll send you the address of where we should meet up. Great, I'll see you in a few hours. Wait, a few hours, that means I need to have Melissa help me get ready. Izuku thought and rushed to get back home. Melissa, are you still here? Izuku yelled as she burst through the door of her own place. Geez, I was just taking a nap, why are you so loud? Melissa groaned as she sat up from the couch and rubbed her head. No more time for sleeping, you've got to help me with what I should wear tonight. Izuku exclaimed as she grabbed the blonde off the couch and pulled her to follow her into her room. Well, you're in a rush. Of course I am, I'm seeing Reed in a few hours and I want to look presentable to him. Presentable? Or just pretty? Both. Now go through my closet and find something for me. I need to take a shower. Izuku said, as she pushed the blonde into her closet and then she ran into her bathroom and started a shower. Geez, Izu, where'd you get all these cute clothes from? Some of those dresses were something my mom bought me not long ago. Izuku answered as she finished her shower and started drying her hair with a towel. Were these given to you to make amends with you having to wear boy clothes when you were younger? Melissa asked. In a way, yes, but I've never had the time to wear any of them. Izuku said. Not until now, and I think this one will be the perfect one. Melissa said as she handed the greenette a dress. Huh, I forgot that my mom likes it when I wear short dresses. Just go try it on. Melissa said as she shoved the greenette back into the bathroom. I didn't think it'd be this thin of the fabric. I wanna see. Izuku opened the door to reveal she was wearing a floral-printed puff-sleeved, ruffled mini dress that was meant to be CC and for the summer. It had a slight V-neck and the design of the print had pink flowers and leaves on it. No, looks like this. Oh my gosh, Izu, you look good in this dress. Just as much as the one you wore the night you had CC with a stranger. Can we not talk about that night? I honestly didn't think this would hug my body so well. Well, of course it does, Izu, you're pretty no matter what you wear. Including scrubs that I have to wear at the hospital. Including scrubs that you have to wear at the hospital. Melissa repeated. Okay, let's just hurry up and fix my hair and makeup and I should be ready. Oh dash. K, it's all done. Melissa said as she slowly turned the greenette's chair for her to see her reflection in the mirror. What you think? Izuku was amazed at how curly her hair was and how her face almost lit up from seeing herself. Whoa, you really have pulled off another look on me, Melissa. Well, I have been dressing like a girl way longer than you have. Wait, did you put any makeup on my face? Of course, but because you're so pretty in that dress, I figured the less makeup, the better. All natural is what I call it. Melissa said. Huh, I didn't think I would look this pretty with barely any makeup on. Izuku thought. Well, as much as I'm sure you want to just sit here and look at yourself all night, you have a date to go on. Melissa said as she helped the greenette stand up. You think I'm ready to meet Reed? Izu, trust me. You deserve someone that will absolutely pay attention to you all the time, and I have a feeling that Reed's gonna be that guy. Shindo was just a stand-in for 2 years, and now that he's out of the picture, I'm sure Reed will be the one for you. Melissa said. I hope so. Okay, just remember to be yourself and don't be afraid to talk about yourself, because he will like you more when you're yourself. Got it? Got it? I think. Don't overthink this. I know you're nervous, but being nervous is a good thing sometimes. Now go out there and be confident about who you are. Melissa said as she shoved the greenette out of her own place. Oh, and don't forget to tell me everything when your date's over, I'll be here. Melissa stated and then slammed the door in front of the greenette. Melissa, I can do this. It's been a while since I went on a first date, but I shouldn't overthink this. Right, let's go and make this the best first date ever. Izuku told herself and headed out. As he went out for afternoon patrol with some of his old classmates, Katsuki kept thinking back to what Takashi told him earlier that day. I think I can understand the situation as to why you shut K out for so long, honestly. The same time you completely shut K out was right when you and Uraraka started dating, wasn't it? Now that I think about it, not only did I shut him out. That was when I stopped talking to Deku too. I didn't even hesitate to date Ochako, even though I really meant my feelings to Dash. Well, Uraraka seems pretty upset that you broke up with her. And she wants to know why you broke up with her on the phone. It's just. Uraraka is really upset and is confused as to why you broke up with her this time. And since she's my friend too. That's right. She used Deku again to try and talk to me, that's something I couldn't stand. No one should use Deku like she's a tool, especially Dash. Hey Bakugo, isn't that Midoriya over there? Kirishima asked. Katsuki jolted his head up and around to try and find where the greenette was said to be. Where is Dash? Finally, after moving his eyes around, the blonde froze to have his sights on the familiar greenette who just happened to be walking towards them. The second he noticed what she was wearing, he felt like his chest was about to explode from how pretty she looked. Deku's. She's never worn something like that before. Has she? Hey Midoriya. Katsuki jerked his head and was glaring at Kaminari since he was the one that called the greenette over. Oh hi guys. Wasn't expecting to see you guys around here. Izuku said, walking up to them. We're just as surprised, especially since you're out dressed like that. Kaminari noted. Oh this. Yeah, I'm actually going on a date tonight. Izuku said with a sweet smile that hit the blonde's chest. Going on a date? With who? Are you meeting up with Shindo then? Oh no, we broke up recently, and I just happened to cross someone else that I've been wanting to go on a date with. Izuku said. Someone else? Who is it? Katsuki thought. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Midoriya. Yeah, I'm sure whoever they are is gonna like you. Kirishima and Siro said. Thanks for the encouragement, I'd better get going. Izuku said and walked past the four men. I didn't know her and Shindo broke up. Yeah, they'd been dating for a really long time, right? Kaminari and Kirishima asked. Katsuki instantly remembered what Takashi told him just a few days ago about Izuku. If I'm not mistaken, Izuku and her boyfriend just broke up too, and it was just recently. What happened to who she was dating before? Wait, why am I wondering about that? Demend these stupid thoughts. Izuku kept looking around and felt nervous since she'd yet to see her date arrive. Please don't stand me up, I really don't want to go through all that. Izuku Midoriya. Yes, that's Dash. The greenette turned her head and was not expecting to see a man standing there, a very good-looking man. This man is Reed Tenchi, soon to be 29-year-old, otherwise known as the war hero Ares, as he has shaggy dark red hair, silver-gray eyes, slightly tan skin, and he has a few scars on his face. But looking past those scars on his face, he seemed like a really nice and good-looking guy. Note, by the way, this is what Reed looks like, you're welcome. Holy whoa, I knew Violet-senpai said her other brother was handsome, but she didn't say he was this handsome. Izuku thought. So you're the one my sister told me about. I can see why my sister suggested I meet you. Reed stated. Why you do? Of course, just from meeting you, you're an appealing woman, he answered with a sweet smile. Just his smile hit her in the chest and she didn't know what to do or say. Holy whoa, he's nice too. He's already nothing like Albin. Izuku thought. So then, should we start the date? Reed asked. Oh yes. Of course we can. Izuku exclaimed as she was still nervous. He paused and held out his hand to her. Shall I see you to dinner, Dr. Deku? He asked sweetly. Yes you may, Ares. She answered as she took his hand. Katsuki got home after finishing patrol for the day and it seemed he was more frustrated than ever now. But why? He grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge, and right when he was drinking, he remembered what he'd witnessed just about an hour ago. Oh this. Yeah, I'm actually going on a date tonight. Oh no, we broke up recently, and I just happened to cross someone else that I've been wanting to go on a date with. He was thinking back to when he saw Izuku dressed in that cute floral printed dress and how curly her hair looked and how her cheeks blushed just talking about how she was about to go on a date with someone. The second he finished drinking the bottle of water, when it was empty, he thought back to who the lucky person who got to spend an evening with the greenette. For some reason, that ticked him off as he slowly crushed the water bottle in his hands and then his hands sparked and made the water bottle explode. If Deku and that flashy, smiley prick broke up, then what did he do to dump Deku and make her want to go on a date with someone else now? Wait, why am I thinking about that right now? Damn it, ever since I broke up with Ochako and he's appeared, I've been seeing Deku a lot more now than before. I need a DMN shower. He thought and chucked his burnt empty water bottle in the trash and went to his bathroom to take a shower. As he finished his shower and was in the middle of drying his hair, Katsuki glanced over at the mirror and thought he was seeing things as he thought he saw an image of a certain greenette. He looked closer at the mirror and realized he was just dreaming since the image disappeared and he could see his own reflection again. Damn it, I'm so tired that I'm seeing things. He thought as he started drying his hair with a towel. Ka-chan, the blonde stopped what he was doing and slowly turned his head to look back at the mirror to see a certain greenette in the mirror again. What? Ka-chan, come here, there's something I want to show you, the image hummed. Though he didn't want to listen, it somehow intrigued him as he slowly leaned towards the mirror and felt entranced at looking at the greenette and leaned his head more until the image dispersed and he could see his reflection in the mirror again. What with the arg, stop playing tricks on me, he yelled. After he put some clean clothes on, it seemed the blonde was still thinking about a certain greenette. She must be talking to her date right now. Well, good for her. I don't need to be thinking about Deku right now. I'm happy now that I'm single. What I'm not happy about is that I keep thinking about Deku and Dash. He paused and sighed as he started thinking about the greenette again. He sat down on his bed and then let his body fall backwards, and he was lying down on his bed and staring up at the ceiling. Why am I feeling like this right now? I was fine before, but now that me and Ochako aren't dating. And Deku's, why did Deku have to fake being a boy for so long? He thought as he slowly closed his eyes. Flashback, finally, I go here and don't have to deal with all those losers anymore, especially Deku. Katsuki thought as he was walking towards his new high school. As he was walking through the halls of his new school, he was honestly relieved he was seeing new and unfamiliar faces walking past him. That's right, I'm not surrounded by losers anymore, he thought with a subtle smirk. As he was approaching his new classroom, which was the hero course, he looked up to see high school students the same age as him standing at the front door and were talking with each other. Right, I belong here, and I'm gonna be the #1 hero someday, and I'll be stronger than anyone. No more Deku holding me back, no more Deku getting in my way, no more Deku, he thought. When it got to them having to do training for the first day though, it seemed there was a surprise for the class of 1A. Alright, all of you, pay attention as we'll be bringing a new student into this class with you guys, Mr. Izawa stated. A new student? Were they late? Uraraka asked. Don't know. And soon all of class 1A went silent as they watched a girl with long and frizzy dark green hair and emerald green eyes walk up and stand in front of them. Wait a sec, why does this girl look like Dash? State your name. Alright. And my name is Izuku Midoriya, the girl said with a 90-degree bow to the entire class. Katsuki's eyes widened as he couldn't believe what he was staring at. It was Izuku, but dressed in girl's clothes. Midoriya here is actually in the support course, but will be doing daily lessons with all of you in class time. The only reason she is in the support course and not in the hero course is because of her quirk, as her quirk is healing. So while all of you will be doing physical training out here, Midoriya will be training with Recovery Girl on how to use and handle her quirk. She wasn't in class with all of you earlier since she was with Recovery Girl. There will be certain days where she will be joining all of you in physical training, so don't just think of her as support. Mr. Izawa explained. What? Deku's a girl. Now he's not, and how did he get into you? How did he get a quirk? Katsuki thought. The second physical training was done for the day. All of the students went back to the locker rooms to change back into their school uniforms. Katsuki wanted to get out of his training clothes and into his uniform as soon as possible because there was a certain someone he needed to talk to. He waited near the girls' locker room, and the second he saw the greenette walk out of the locker room, he grabbed her by her arm and pulled her and then pushed her against the wall. Kaken. I knew it, this is Deku, he still calls me by that nickname. So why is he still acting like a girl? Katsuki thought. What makes you think this is some kind of game? Yeah. Don't play dumb, Deku, why are you suddenly going here and wearing a girl's uniform? Katsuki demanded. Because I am a girl Dash, don't lie to me. You've been acting and wearing guy clothes since we met, don't tell me you're a crossdresser. I'm not. I really am a G-girl, Kaken. Izuku stuttered. Then why the hell have you been wearing guy clothes this entire time? You think I wouldn't ask that? And no, I knew you'd ask me something like that, and there's a very good reason behind it. I really am a girl, and I've been a girl the entire time. Izuku answered. If you really are a girl, then let's test that out, he stated and lifted his hand and immediately groped her. I knew it. Soft Dash, Kaya. Katsuki looked at the greenette straight in the face and started blushing as he realized that the greenette had been telling the truth. But before he could even say sorry for the mistake, he got slapped straight across the face and stumbled back a few feet. Kaken, what is wrong with you? I was telling the truth the entire time, and that doesn't mean you should touch my chest like that. Izuku said as she covered her chest with her arms and walked away from the blonde. I didn't really think Dash. Izuku, are you okay? I heard a scream and ran over to see what was wrong. Uraraka said, running up to the greenette. I'm fine, I just thought I saw a mouse, that's all. A mouse? That's gross, come on, let's go have lunch together. Okay. Izuku said as she glanced back at the stunned blonde, and then kept walking with the brunette. No way, Deku really was. Deku was a girl this whole time. Back to present. Katsuki opened his eyes after thinking back to that time and sighed. Even though I've finally accepted Deku actually being a girl, I'm still not used to how cute she looks after not seeing her for so long. Wait, did I just think of something stupid? Sleep, I need sleep. He thought as he sat up from his bed and then stood up and pulled the covers away from his bed and laid back down in bed and covered himself with the covers. As much as I don't want him to take over my body, I need to sleep this out and stop thinking about Deku. He thought and shut his eyes and went to sleep for the night. He didn't wake up until the next morning. As they were walking, Izuku finally came to a stop and said, "Well, this is my place." "Done with me already?" "That was fast." Reed noted. "And no, it's not that, but I do have work in the morning." "Then it looks like I'll have to see someone at work tomorrow," Reed suggested. "Bye." Reed grabbed her hand and kissed the top of her hand and smiled at her. "I had a really nice evening with you, Izuku," he said sweetly. Izuku's cheeks blossomed and so did her heart, which was filled with excitement. I did too. I haven't been on such a nice and enjoyable date in a really long time." Izuku noted. "Well then that means I should make sure to stay on your good side and give you more dates to enjoy in the future," Reed stated. Izuku bit the bottom of her lip and felt all giddy on the inside from just how sweet and smooth talking he was. "Then I'll be waiting to see you tomorrow." "I agree, but don't think I'll come empty-handed." "Holy whoa, is he going to bring something to me tomorrow? Now I'm curious as to what else he can do to make me this happy." "Good night, Izuku." "Good night, Reed." Izuku mumbled as she slowly walked towards the building and then was completely out of sight of the redhead. She pressed the button for the elevator, and the second she got in the elevator, she pressed her back against the wall and exhaled. "Holy whoa," she mumbled as the elevator doors closed in front of her. The greenette joyously walked to her front door, unlocked it, and then closed the door behind her with happiness. "Hey, you're back. So how was your date?" Melissa asked, jumping off the couch. "Melissa, all I can say is, holy whoa, was that one of the best dates I've ever gone on." Izuku replied. "Wow, just hearing you say that clearly means that you've moved on from Shindo pretty quick. Come on, sit down and tell me everything," Melissa said as she grabbed the greenette's hand and led her to the couch. "Oh, where do I even begin, Melissa?" "From the beginning, duh." "Okay." And Izuku sat there with Melissa sitting next to her and talked for the next hour about everything that she and Reed did that night. Melissa was in awe the entire time just from hearing everything. It was clear that this was no ordinary first date. "Oh my gosh, Izu, I've never seen you this excited to talk about anybody. Ever. Not even when you were with Shindo have I seen you this happy." "I know, right? I never thought I could be this happy after moving on from Shindo that easily, and that quick too," Izuku replied. "So, when's the next time you're gonna see Reed?" Melissa asked. "Oh, he did say he'd come to see me at my work tomorrow," Izuku hummed. "Oh my gosh, seriously? Not even Shindo would go and see you at work, but Reed will. This is so exciting for you, Izu. I'm so happy for you," Melissa exclaimed as she hugged the greenette. "Yeah, I'm really happy too," Izuku said. "So, does this mean you don't have those teeny tiny itsy bitsy feelings for Bakugo still?" Melissa asked. Maybe not. Here I thought I was going to be worried that I still would, but surprisingly I don't," Izuku answered. "Great. Oh, then that means you might have to look cute when Reed does come to see you at work tomorrow. I'm going to make sure to wake you up early just to put makeup on you." "You don't need to do that, Melissa." "Why not?" "Because Reed said I look appealing all natural." "Whoa, really? Man, you found a keeper." "I know." "Oh, but I will need your help for tomorrow night since my old classmates planned for a class reunion to be tomorrow night." "Say no more, we can go shopping tomorrow after you get off work to find the perfect dress to wear at the reunion. Oh hey, maybe you can even ask Reed to go to the reunion with you. You know, so you can say that Reed is 10 times better than Shindo," Melissa suggested. "Oh, I didn't even think of that. Good call, Melissa. I know, I'm pretty clever, aren't I? So then why don't you have a boyfriend, Melissa?" I'm busy with work and helping you, I don't have the time. Oh okay. Looks like someone had a really good date last night. Violet asked as she and Ziri were walking up to Izuku's desk the next morning. Of course, I had one of the best dates last night with Reed. Izuku answered happily. Oh yeah, I almost forgot you went on a date with Violet's brother, how was it? Ziri asked. Oh my gosh, what do I even say? To start, I always did find him intimidating in his hero suit, but without his suit, he just looks like a really nice guy. And though he has scars on his face and can act scary, he talks and acts like an absolute sweetheart, he's like an angel. Izuku exclaimed. Wow Izuku, I've never seen you talk this much about a guy before, especially compared to Shindo. Ziri said. I know, and before we parted ways for the night, he told me he'd come see me at work today. Do I look okay? Any hair out of place? Izuku asked. Calm down, Izuku. I'm sure you already know, but Reed likes girls that are honest and look appealing without makeup. I know that, he told me that last night, but I'm still wanting to make sure I look good. Izuku explained. Believe me, Izuku, you look a lot better when you smile like that. Ziri noted. Thanks. Well, it seems you're not set off today, huh? Did Kei overexert your body again? Takashi asked. No, he didn't even appear last night. Katsuki answered. Really? How can you tell? Because he usually causes a mess around my place, but when I woke up this morning, my place was still clean. Katsuki said. That's good news. Maybe there are certain days where he might not want to appear, you never know. Takashi suggested. I highly doubt it. I had a lot of thoughts last night that I barely got any sleep, which is probably why he didn't appear. Katsuki huffed. A lot of thoughts. About what? Takashi asked. It doesn't matter. Yes it does, especially since Kei didn't use your body last night. What were you thinking about? Takashi asked. When I went on patrol yesterday with some guys. Deku crossed us and said that she was going on a date. Katsuki answered. Oh, well I can tell that date went really well for her. She's been smiling ear to ear all morning. I noticed it right away at our meeting this morning. Takashi noted. Katsuki jerked his head to look up at the doctor. What did he just hear? What? See for yourself. Takashi said. Katsuki got up from his chair and peeked through the window in the door and searched to find the greenette talking to a few doctors, and she was smiling bigger than he'd ever seen her smile before. Katsuki clenched his teeth as he walked away from the door, and sat down in his chair and crossed his arms with a huff. What's this? Is Katsuki Bakugo jealous? Why the hell would I be jealous? It's not like this guy she went on a date with is going to see her again, probably. Katsuki stated. I don't think so. Take a look again. Takashi ushered. Katsuki jumped up from his chair and ran over to the door and peeked his eyes through the window to see Reed walking up to Izuku's desk with a bouquet of flowers, and the greenette's face lit up the second he gave her the flowers. What? That Fing, war hero, or whatever is who she went on a date with? Katsuki yelled. Yup, he was known to be in the top 10 heroes when he was in America. He's a pretty cool guy, honestly. Takashi said. That little dash. Katsuki pulled the door open and stomped out of the room in a rage. He's gonna regret doing what he's about to do. Takashi thought. Katsuki stomped towards them and yelled, Ya, Deku. Izuku and Reed turned their heads to see Katsuki walking up to them. Oh, hi Kaken. Oh, in case you haven't met him, this is the guy I went on a date with last night. Say hello to Reed. Reed, this is Katsuki Bakugo, he's an old friend of mine. Izuku said happily. The #1 hero, Dynamite. We've never had the chance to meet, not until now it seems. Reed said as he held out his hand to the blonde. Yeah, kinda surprising we've never met before until now, huh? By the way, I've known Izuku since we were kids. Katsuki stated, as he grabbed Reed's hand and shook it. I see, well then you must know a lot about her, but me and Izuku got to know a lot about each other on our date last night. Reed said with a subtle smirk, and Katsuki clenched his teeth again. Oh, Kaken, are you going to the reunion tonight to see all of our class? Izuku asked. I'm gonna assume you're gonna be there. Yes, I will. Oh, and Reed, I was wanting to ask you if you'd come with me to our reunion tonight. Izuku said. Katsuki jerked his head to look at Reed and he just made a slight smirk. I'd love to have another date with you tonight, Izuku. Reed responded. Great. Oh, and Kaken, if you haven't already, maybe you can get the chance to talk to Uraraka tonight. I'm sure she'd be really relieved to see you and want to talk to her. Izuku noted. Yeah, I'll talk to her. Maybe breaking up with her was a bad idea to begin with. Katsuki said as he turned his head back at the greenette. Oh, then I'm sure she'd be really happy to hear that. Oh dear, I need to get back to my agency, but I'll stop by your place later and pick you up for tonight. By Reed. Izuku exclaimed as the redhead left the hospital. Isn't he really nice? I think I really found the right guy this time. Izuku stated, looking over at Katsuki. Just hearing those words irked the blonde as his hand turned into a fist and shook with anger. Teeth, I've got somewhere I need to be. Oh, see you later then, Kaken. Izuku said, waving the blonde goodbye as he left. I didn't think Katsuki was here, but at least he was the first one to meet Reed. I didn't think Reed would give me flowers either, he's so nice. Izuku stood in front of the building and felt butterflies in her stomach from how nervous she was. You doing okay? Reed asked. Yeah, just haven't seen everyone all in the same place. All at once. With someone new that I'm talking to. Izuku answered. Everything will be okay. Reed assured her as he grabbed her hand and intertwined with his. Are you sure? You know them more than I do, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind meeting someone like me. They're all heroes, and I'm a hero, so I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind me being here as your date. Reed noted. Fair point, let's go. Izuku said, and they walked into the building. The second the two of them walked into the building, all eyes were on them and Izuku's old classmates couldn't stop staring at them. Hey, it's Midoriya. Kirishima exclaimed and everyone walked up to them. Oh, hi everyone. Sorry if we're late. Izuku said. Midoriya, is that who I think it is? Mina asked, pointing at Reed. Oh yes, everyone, in case you don't recognize him, this is Reed Tenchi, otherwise known as the war hero, Aries, he's my date. Izuku introduced. The second she introduced him, all of her classmates surrounded Reed and started asking him questions, and it got to the point that Izuku couldn't hold his hand any longer. Reed had to remain calm as Izuku's old classmates bombarded him with questions left and right, but he didn't seem fazed by it. Looks like I was worried about nothing, and they seemed to like Reed more than Shindo. Izuku thought. Hey Deku-chan. Izuku turned her head to see Uraraka behind her. Oh, hi Uraraka. Hey, did you manage to talk to Katsuki-kun for me? Uraraka asked, fumbling with her hands. I did. Did he tell you anything? He did, but he said it would be better if he told you face to face instead. Izuku answered. Face to face. But I still haven't seen him, and he's not even here right now. Uraraka stated. Don't worry, I'm sure it'll be really soon. Okay, and do you think you could be there with me to hear what he has to say? Uraraka asked. Why? Because he talks to you perfectly fine, and if you're there, I'll be able to hear what he has to say. Uraraka said. Do I really have to do that though? Please Deku-chan. You're really close to Katsuki-kun, so I'm sure he wouldn't be bothered by it if you're there with me. Please, she asked as she grabbed the greenette's hand and started pouting. Not the pouty face again. Fine, but this is the last time. Thank you, Deku-chan. Yeah, looky, seems like you finally decided to show up. Kaminari noted, as everyone turned their attention from Reed to a man with spiky ash blonde hair and ruby red eyes. Even the number one hero can be late now. What's up with that? Jiro asked. Good to see you decided to come tonight, Bakugo. Kirishima yelled as he wrapped his arm around the blonde. Katsuki glanced over to see Reed was there and he clenched his teeth. If he's really here, then that means dash. The blonde moved his eyes around the room and made direct eye contact with Izuku, who was across the room and just happened to be standing next to a very familiar brunette. Damn it, I forgot I said I was gonna talk to her. Do I really have to do this now? Katsuki thought. I've got something I gotta do first. Katsuki said as he shrugged Kirishima's arm off and started walking up to the brunette and greenette. So it looks like he wants to deal with this as soon as possible, but what's he gonna say to Uraraka? Izuku thought. But what Izuku didn't realize until he was about to approach them was that he'd kept his gaze on her and not on Uraraka the entire time. Why is Kaken looking at me like that? She thought as she felt her heartbeat getting faster with each step he took. Finally, the blonde stopped right in front of them but still kept his eyes on the greenette. Hi Kaken. Izuku mumbled. Hey! Katsuki-kun. You're here. I'm so glad I can finally see you and I really need to talk to you. Uraraka said, butting in between them. Okay. Oh, and Deku-chan's gonna be with us too. Come on Deku-chan. Uraraka said as she grabbed Izuku's hand and pulled her to follow. Izuku glanced up at Katsuki as he raised an eyebrow, and all she could do was mouth, sorry. The three of them went to a neighboring room and then Uraraka released Izuku's hand and directly stood right in front of Katsuki. Okay, Deku-chan's just here to spectate, so don't mind her here unless I need her help. Uraraka said. Her help with what? Katsuki thought. Izuku stood a couple feet away from them just to give them space and felt incredibly awkward having to watch what she knew was going to be the truth. Katsuki-kun, I've tried everything to talk to you, and now I can finally talk to you. So, why did you suddenly decide to break up with me on the phone a few days ago? Uraraka asked. Geez, do I really have to do this? Katsuki thought. It's just, I did a lot of thinking and realized that I can be a little annoying sometimes, and I was wondering what I annoyed you about on that day I called you. Uraraka noted. It wasn't something that you said or did that day, I just wasn't in the mood to talk to anyone. Katsuki said. That's it. That can't be it. You broke up with me out of nowhere, and on the phone. Wait, then why haven't you been at home or out on patrol the past few days? You didn't even answer my calls late at night like you used to. Deku-chan, do you think you can talk some sense into him? Izuku flinched as she wasn't expecting her to interrupt them. Do I really need to do that? Izuku asked. Leave Deku out of this. But she's your friend too, so she has to know, right? You told her the real reason why you broke up with me, didn't you? Didn't he, Deku-chan? And no, he really didn't. Deku-chan, you should be siding with me on this. I'm siding with anyone on this. I had 𝐒𝐮𝐸 with someone the night I broke up with you. Katsuki yelled. Izuku and Uraraka turned their attention back at the blonde and he looked defeated by what he just said. What did you just say? Uraraka asked. I've already moved on from you because I had 𝐒𝐮𝐸 with someone the same night I broke up with you on the phone. I'm tired of us fighting and being unhappy with you, so I took the chance and went to a bar and met someone that I ended up having 𝐒𝐮𝐸 with. Katsuki explained. What? You cheated on me. It's not really cheating if he already broke up with you, Uraraka. Izuku noted. Deku's right, I didn't cheat on you if I'd already broken up with you. I broke up with you when I was at my agency, hours before I went to a bar. Katsuki said. Kaken. Had 𝐒𝐮𝐸 with someone. I didn't even know that. But wait, didn't Uraraka say that Kaken broke up with her on the same day that I found out Shindo was cheating on me? Izuku thought. But he tried to make you happy, Katsuki-kun. I've tried to make sure not to fight with you, so who was it? Uraraka asked. Katsuki looked up at the brunette and Izuku was worried to know the truth of who Katsuki had 𝐒𝐮𝐸 with too. Is it someone we know? Is it a stranger like my situation? Izuku thought. It was Dash. The blonde was interrupted by the sound of a loud bang heard outside the building and the three of them looked at each other and then ran to the neighboring room where everyone else was. It's a group of villains. Kirishima yelled. Just my luck, gotta get out of here. Katsuki thought as he ran out of the building as fast as he could. Katsuki-kun, wait. Uraraka, wait. It's dangerous. You and the others should try and evacuate those around the area. Izuku said, stopping the brunette. Okay, but what about you? The hospital where I work isn't too far from here, so any citizens that you find, bring them there and I'll heal them. Izuku said as she took off her heels. Alright. Izuku. Izuku turned her head to see Reed running up to her. Where are you going? I need to get to the hospital to prepare for any citizens that get hurt from this incident. Izuku answered. Okay, just be careful. And all of Class 1, including Reed, went to work. Izuku burst through the doors of the hospital, and she looked around to see Violet and Ziri were still there. Izuku, what are you doing here? Yeah, and what happened to you? Now's not the time to ask me those questions. There's a group of villains outside right now, and since it was in a busy area, I asked my old classmates to save any civilians that were injured and to bring them here. Izuku explained. Got it. I think Takashi's here too, so we'll need all the help we can get. Right, let me go change and I'll get to work. Izuku said, and all of them started scrambling around the hospital. Soon the Greenette's old classmates came rushing through the hospital doors with injured civilians one after the other, and then they'd go back into the action. We're gonna need to call for some more doctors that weren't scheduled to work to come here ASAP. Takashi said. Got it. I'll let them know. Midoriya, we need your help. Izuku turned back and felt her body go numb to see Kirishima entering the hospital, but was holding Katsuki up as he looked severely injured. Kaken. The villain badly hurt Bakugo. He's unconscious and looks like he ended up getting badly hurt. Kirishima said. Izuku ran up to them and tried to make a quick inspection to see that the blonde's right arm was badly injured. Just from touching his arm, she could tell he was in pain and the bones felt shattered. His right arm is broken, we'll need to take him into surgery. Takashi, can you help me get Kaken into the operating room? Right, the sooner the better. Kaken, don't worry, I'll save you. Thanks for helping me on Kaken's surgery, Takashi. Izuku said as she and Takashi were leaving the operating room once they completed the surgery on Katsuki's broken arm. Of course, you're not the only one that's known him for a long time. Takashi noted. Oh yeah, he was here that day I came into your office to give you those files. So, do you think you can tell me what exactly Kaken's dealing with that he's been visiting you in your office recently? Izuku asked. Izuku, you know that's getting in someone's personal information, right? Alright, I do, but like you said, I've known Kaken for a really long time. And since I've known him for a really long time, do you think you can at least tell if he's dealing with something that he needs to talk to you about? Izuku asked. Why can't you just ask him yourself if you're so worried about him? You don't need to be asking me stuff about Katsuki when it's something he's dealing with himself. What's he dealing with? Is it bad? Ask him yourself and maybe you'll get the answer you're looking for. Good work tonight. Takashi said and then left the Greenette standing there alone. I figured he was gonna say that, but what if Kaken won't tell me what he's dealing with? Is it something about Uraraka, or something else? I really need to know if something's wrong with Kaken. The following morning arrived and the Greenette slowly peeked her eyes open as the lights around her flickered brightly. She sat up and rubbed her eyes and noticed how her eyes were still burning no matter how much she rubbed them. Ah man, I forgot to take my contacts out last night. Wait, where am I? She thought as she looked around to realize she was sitting at her desk and was still at the hospital. Oh, that's right. I forgot I didn't go home last night and accidentally fell asleep at my desk after everyone else left. Let's take these contacts out and wash my face before I do anything else. She thought as she got up from her desk and went to the bathroom. After taking out her contacts and washing her face, the Greenette felt refreshed and awake, but that didn't mean she didn't feel gross for wearing last night's clothes. I woke up pretty early that no one else has gotten here yet. Maybe I can call Melissa and ask her to bring me some clean scrubs to change into. She thought and grabbed her phone and dialed the blonde's phone number. She waited for an answer and then finally heard, hello. Hey Melissa, it's Izuku. Izu. Why are you calling me right now? It's 7:30 in the morning. Listen, I had to end up working last night after the reunion and didn't think of bringing any clean clothes to wear today. So do you think you can go to my place and grab some clothes and bring them here before you go to work? Izuku asked. Fine. The only reason I'm doing this is because I'm already at your place. You didn't leave my place yesterday. No, you know I live on the other side of town from where you live, so I just stayed at your place for the night. Okay, but thanks. Oh, and no rush on bringing the clothes. Yeah. See you in a little bit. Yawn, and the call ended. Well, now that I know Melissa might take a little time, I can at least do some rounds around the hospital to see if I can heal anyone. She thought and started walking around the hospital. After finishing with checking patients in almost every room, the greenette was about to walk back to her desk and look at some documents until she stopped right in front of a certain blonde's hospital room. He's still as reckless as ever, still getting hurt in any way, shape or form, and I end up taking care of him. When he'd get hurt in the past, it wasn't me that treated him if he came to this hospital. He must have been avoiding me as much as I've been avoiding him. Wouldn't hurt to see if his vitals are in any trouble, she thought as she opened the door. She peeked her head in to see the blonde was still lying in the bed asleep, and she slowly walked into the room and closed the door behind her. She crept up to his bed and stared at the sleeping blonde, and then her eyes moved to the cast that was covering his right arm. As much as I didn't want to do surgery on his arm, I feared that if I healed him, it wouldn't be enough and could have caused problems for his quirk. He'll have to take a small hiatus from working and take some rest for his arm to heal. I already have a feeling he's not going to be happy with hearing that news, but he's always been like that. Always been working his butt off to be the best, and now that he's hurt himself, he's going to have to force himself to relax for a bit. Maybe if I didn't cross paths with him again, then I wouldn't have caused him to get hurt. What am I saying? I'm so tired that I'm thinking things. I didn't know Kaken went off and had CC with someone else that wasn't Uraraka, and why did he confess that anyway? I need to get back to my desk and eat some flowers, she thought as she started walking away from the hospital bed. The second the greenette opened the door though, that was a sight she didn't want to see. Izuku. Albin, what are you doing here? And so early in the morning? Oh, a little bird told me that you were here already, and I figured why not spend this perfect opportunity to have a little breakfast date together. No, Izuku said straight away. Albin immediately grabbed her hand and stopped her from leaving. Oh, come on, Izuku, just one simple date with me and then maybe you'll really like me and want to date me, Albin stated. Albin thought, I'm already seeing someone. But it's not your ex you're talking to again, is it? Then who is it? Is it someone I know? Are they as good looking as me? Oh, who am I kidding? No one's as good looking as me. Albin, please stop. How many more times do I have to tell you no? Until you finally do say yes. I am never going to say yes. Then who is it you're seeing? Who is it? Albin. Izuku. Izuku and Albin turned their heads and were surprised to see Katsuki standing there at the door of his hospital room. Akeka-chan. Back in time slightly. As the sound of the machine beeped in his ear, the blonde slowly opened his eyes to look around and see where he was. Where am I? He thought as he moved his head slightly to see the machine next to his bed, and he noticed how white the room was. Am I in a hospital? What did Katsuki do to end up in the hospital? Kei thought. He pushed himself to try and sit up and looked down at his arm to see his right arm was in a cast. Ow, why does it feel like there's metal poles in my arm? What did Katsuki do to cause his arm to get this bad? Kei thought. Just as he was about to look around the room some more, Kei could hear a couple distant voices coming from the other side of the door. He got up from the bed and crept up to the door to try and listen to the conversation. Albin, please stop. How many more times do I have to tell you no? Until you finally do say yes. That voice sounds familiar. Is that Izuku's voice? Kei thought and listened more. I'm never going to say yes. Then who is it you're seeing? Who is it? Whoever this guy is, he sounds annoying and Izuku doesn't like them. I think it's time I fix this. Albin. Kei quickly grabbed the door and opened it to say, Izuku. Kei watched as both Albin and Izuku turned their heads to see him standing there. Akeka-chan. It is her, I knew it. Kei thought. Kei Kaken, what are you doing out of bed? You should be resting. Izuku said. It's only been a few days since that night, but for some reason she looks just as appealing now as much as that night. I really have missed her for a really long time. He thought. I would have stayed in bed, but this guy was being really loud that he ended up waking the guy you've been seeing. Kei said. What? Kei grabbed the greenette's hand and pulled her until his arm was wrapped around her waist, used his other hand to rest under her chin and lifted her face and planted his lips onto hers right away. Izuku's eyes widened the second she felt his lips onto hers and for some strange reason couldn't move her body away from the shock. Albin couldn't believe what he was seeing and clenched his teeth and had to walk away from the sight as if he didn't see anything. No way. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐻. He's actually kissing me. Izuku's eyes widened the second she felt his lips onto hers and for some strange reason couldn't move her body away from the shock. No way. 𝐻𝐿𝐮𝐻. He's actually kissing me. She realized that she couldn't keep this from going any farther and pushed him away as fast as possible. What's wrong, Izuku? You just kissed me. Yeah, and I wasn't done. No. You should not be kissing me, especially out here. Izuku exclaimed. Then 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐴, he said as he grabbed her arm and pulled her back into his hospital room and pushed her against the wall. She felt completely trapped once her back was pressed against the wall and all she could do was look up at the blonde and get entranced by his ruby red eyes. I've been wanting to do this more after that night, he said as he leaned his head down and pressed his lips onto hers again. She instantly didn't understand what he was talking about and pushed him away. That night. What night? You don't remember. The night we spent the entire night together, it wasn't that long ago. He answered. What is 𝐻𝐿𝐮 talking about? The last time I spent the entire night with a guy was when I had 𝐶 with that wait. Why you mean? The night we had section. She asked cautiously. Yeah, that night. You asked me to stay with you that entire night, and I did. He said. Holy whoa. I slept. I had 𝐶 with 𝐻𝐿𝐮. But there's no way. She thought. And now that I've seen you again, I don't think I should hold back anymore. He stated as he leaned his head down and pressed his lips onto hers and lifted both his hands and rested them onto her cheeks. No. I can't be doing this. Not here, or ever. Why does he taste and smell like 𝐻𝐿𝐮? She thought and couldn't help but slowly close her eyes. That's right. The man I had 𝐶 with, he also smelled and tasted like caramel. Then that means I've really found him. She thought as she lifted her arms up and wrapped them around his neck, and that's when the kisses started to get passionate as she could instantly feel his tongue enter her mouth. I've never felt like this before, never with Shindo, and I haven't even kissed Reed yet, but this is the kind of feeling I've always wanted to have, and it's with 𝐻𝐿𝐮. Wait, I shouldn't be doing this, I've got to stop. The greenette's thoughts were interrupted when he lifted his lips off hers, but then pressed his lips down onto her neck and started kissing her neck. 𝐻𝐿𝐮, wait. She squealed as she tried to push him away. But because he somehow had the strength, he pushed her back against the wall, still with his lips on her neck, and continued what he was doing. 𝐻𝐿𝐮, time out. Time out. She exclaimed as she tried to push him again. You've got to slam. Izuku opened her eyes to notice that the strength and pressure she was feeling had suddenly vanished, and she looked down to see the blonde on the floor and knocked out. 𝐻𝐿𝐮. He's fine. Izuku looked up to see Takashi standing in front of her. Takashi. Huh, I figured something like this would happen. Figured what would happen? Never mind, just help me get him back in bed. Alright. Izuku and Takashi both grabbed the blonde off the floor and carried him back to the bed as if nothing happened. Thanks for knocking him out. Izuku exhaled. I figured something happened when I saw Albin walking through the halls in a bitter mood. So it seems Katsuki kissed you. Why, he did. Right in front of Albin too. Izuku groaned as she felt ashamed of what she just went through. Well, on the bright side, Albin's not gonna be bothering you for a while. Takashi noted. That may be true, but what am I going to say to Reed since me and Reed just started talking? Just don't tell him this happened. Yeah. Reed won't know unless you tell him, and since I'm going to assume this entire incident was an accident, then it shouldn't matter if Reed really knows. Takashi suggested. Just don't tell Reed. Why didn't I think of that? And it's not like a lot of people know that I had 𝐶 with a stranger, even though now I know it was really 𝐻𝐿𝐮. I guess you're right. You promise you'll keep what just happened a secret, right? Of course. I'm sure if Emra found out, she'd go ballistic about this, but she doesn't need to know. And neither does Reed. Just think of this to be an accident and act like it never happened. Got it? I got it. Good. Now speaking of Reed, he's here in the lobby waiting to see you. What? Just here? Why didn't you tell me sooner? Izuku said and ran out of the room. The second the greenette left the room, Takashi glanced over at the sleeping blonde and sighed. She doesn't need to know about Kei, at least not yet. And the only person that should tell her would be Katsuki, but I highly doubt that would be anytime soon. Takashi thought. Reed. The greenette watched as the redhead in the distance turned his head and his eyes lit up to see her running up to him. Izuku, there you are. I was worried something happened, which was why you were taking so long. And no, everything's fine. Except for the fact that I just went through a makeout session without expecting it. So what are you doing here? Oh, well, first I came here to give you these. Reed said as he pulled a bouquet of daisies in front of her. Oh. My sister told me that your quirk is healing and that you have to eat edible flowers to gain strength, so I made to find a flower that is appealing and edible. Reed explained. Oh, thank you, Reed. That's so sweet of you. And that's not all. It's not. Here you go, he said as he lifted his other arm out to reveal a bag. A bag. Before I got here, it seems like one of your friends knew I was going to see you and asked me to give this to you since you asked for it. It's my clothes that I asked Melissa to give me. Thank you, and I'll give her my thanks later. Were you injured at all from last night's villain attack? No, I got lucky since I did see a lot of other heroes out there getting hurt. That's a relief. Oh, and I'm sorry all my old classmates basically bombarded you with questions last night at the reunion. Oof, it's nothing. It's not the first time I've been bombarded by people, especially fans. So there's nothing you need to worry about. That's good. Oh, looks like I need to get back to my agency, but maybe we can have dinner tonight. Yes. Of course we can have dinner tonight. Great, I'll meet you up outside your place. Okay, bye, Reed. Bye. Phew, much better now that I've changed clothes. Izuku thought as she walked out of the restroom in fresh, clean scrubs. I'm gonna have to wear my glasses all day since it's the only way my eyes will stop burning. This has been a really long morning. Izuku thought as she finished up in the restroom and went back to her desk. At least barely anyone else was here when that happened between me and Kaken. Let's just not think about that and forget about it like Takashi suggested. Izuku thought. Seems you must have had a nice morning, didn't you? Izuku looked up from her desk to see Ziri looking down at her. Oh, Ziri-senpai, good morning. Did you have a nice chat with the number 1 hero this morning? Or should I say kiss? Ziri asked. Izuku felt her body freeze up. Yeah. I just happened to come to work early this morning, and just as I was heading to get my morning coffee, I just happened to turn my head and see you and the number 1 hero kissing. Am I wrong? Ziri asked. Ziri-senpai, did you really dash? And then, just when I thought that it was shocking enough, I watched as he grabbed you and pulled him into his hospital room where I can only assume you two had a makeout session, correct? Ziri asked. Ziri-senpai, there's a very good reason as to what happened this morning. Really? Because what it looked like was that you're two-timing Violet's brother and secretly dating the number 1 hero. No, Ziri-senpai. It's not that at all. Just listen to me. What? Because Albin was bothering you this morning? Bakugo just happened to wake up and decided to say that it was him that you were seeing and decided to kiss you in front of Albin. And now you have to act like nothing happened between you and Bakugo this morning. And the only reason he was acting like that was because he ended up being the same guy you had SEC with the night Shindo cheated on you. Yes. And if Violet Senpai or Reed or anyone else finds out about this, then I'll be screwed. Kaken's already having to deal with you Raraka right now, and though I have no idea why he suddenly decided to kiss me this morning, I have to act like nothing happened. Do you know how upset Violet Senpai or Reed would be if they found out about this? Izuku explained. Well, yeah, do you have any idea how many times Violet has tried to get someone to go on a date with Reed? So when you told her you really wanted to go on a date with him, she was really excited to tell Reed. I can tell, and I just started talking to Reed and I already have feelings for him, so I really don't want to break his heart either. Okay, keep this entire thing a secret from Violet's family basically, especially Albin. Especially Albin. Especially Reed. I don't want to even see the reaction he'd give if he found out. Huh, you're lucky Violet's off today, but I'll keep my word as long as you don't mess around with Bakugo anymore. Trust me, I won't. Excuse me. I have to do what? Izuku asked. Though I'm sure you think this is a terrible idea, I know that you and Katsuki have had a kind of strained relationship. So all I want for you to do is be his sitter and make sure that he doesn't do anything dangerous in the time he's recovering from his surgery on his arm. Takashi said. Excuse me. I have to do what? Izuku asked. Though I'm sure you think this is a terrible idea, I know that you and Katsuki have had a kind of strained relationship. So all I want for you to do is be his sitter and make sure that he doesn't do anything dangerous in the time he's recovering from his surgery on his arm. Takashi said. Izuku rushed through the streets, hoping and praying that her friend would be home. She ran up to the house and started knocking in a panic. Knock knock knock, Melissa. Knock knock knock, Melissa. Knock knock knock, Melissa. And the door opened and Melissa was standing there staring at the breathing Greenette. Okay, I can only assume something bad happened at work because you knocked on my door 3 times. Melissa noted. I need to tell you something that happened at work, and I really need to hear what you think about it. It's bad. Izuku breathed. Oh geez, what could possibly be as bad as when you told me you had 𝐶 with a stranger? I found out who that stranger was today. Izuku exclaimed. Melissa batted her eyes a few times as she looked at the Greenette and then grabbed her hand and pulled her over to the couch. You figured out who you had 𝐶 with. That's big news, Izuku. So, who's the lucky guy? It's Kaken. Melissa flinched from how fast the Greenette spoke and then raised an eyebrow. Ah, you mean Katsuki Bakugo, your childhood friend who you secretly had a crush on, and he's now the #1 hero who was dating your friend Uraraka. Who else would Kaken be? Yes, that Kaken. Izuku yelled. Alright, let's calm down and just tell me how this led to you thinking that it is Bakugo. I don't think I know. Look, last night at the reunion, Uraraka asked me to spectate the talk she was going to have with Kaken as to why he broke up with her. And once Uraraka started asking questions about if she was good enough or not, Kaken blurted out that he had 𝐶 with someone the night he broke up with Uraraka. Izuku stated. Okay, and what does that have to do with you? No, Melissa. The same night I found Shindo cheating on me and then I had 𝐶 with a stranger was the exact same night Kaken broke up with Uraraka and had 𝐶 with someone else. Izuku explained. Oh, well that makes sense. Yeah. But are you sure it was him that you had 𝐶 with? Did he say that he had 𝐶 with you? Well no, but something else happened. And it was this morning after I called you. Oh God, what? Kaken got injured in a villain attack last night, which was why I ended up staying at the hospital last night because I ended up doing surgery on his arm. This morning after I called you and did my rounds around the hospital, I went to just see if Kaken was fine, and he was. Oh my God, please don't tell me you kissed him when he was sleeping. But let me keep talking. Anyway, right as I left Kaken's room, Albin came out of nowhere and started talking to me. Don't tell me he asked you out on a date again. Yes, and I kept saying no, and I specifically told Albin that I was seeing someone already. And then, something strange happened. What? Izuku paused to try and find her words, and she looked up at the blonde. Kaken woke up to see me and Albin talking in the hallway, and yes. Kaken said something really weird. Which was? He said, I would have stayed in bed, but this guy was being really loud that he ended up waking the guy you've been seeing. And then what? Kaken kissed me. In front of Albin. Izuku answered. Melissa looked completely frozen by what she was just told and just kept staring at Izuku with no reaction on her face. Melissa, are you he kissed you? Twice. Did you push him away? I tried to, but then he pulled me back into his room and oh no. No, he did not We might have had a little make-out session right after that. Izu. I tried to stop him, but that was when I realized that I've kissed those lips before. I figured out in the middle of that make-out session that me and Kaken had 𝐶 together. Melissa jumped up from the couch and then grabbed a pillow and screamed into it. Are you okay, Melissa? What happened to you, letting go of those feelings and moving on with Reed? I didn't know he was gonna kiss me. And I would have stopped kissing him if I didn't realize I had SE with him. How the hell did you figure out he was the one you had SEC with? I thought you said you were drunk. I was, but that night, I realized that when we kissed, he smelled and tasted like caramel. And when he kissed me this morning, it was the same taste and smell. Oh my god, Izuku. What makes you think that just because he smelled and tasted the exact same as the guy you had SEC with that night? WL. Kaken did tell me that we had SEC this morning. Oh, so he did know it was you, great. Melissa said sarcastically. Look, I didn't mean for any of this to happen, which is why I'm relieved Takashi knocked Kaken out before the kissing got a little too extreme. You don't need to tell me that. So what are you gonna do now? Oh. I'll have to act like it was an accident and I can't tell anyone else about this. Oh. Great, even though you told me. I had to tell someone that I could trust. I just have to make sure that Reed doesn't know and make sure no one else knows about this either. Izuku stated. Yeah, it's a relief that you at least don't have to see Bakugo every day, right? Melissa joked, and Izuku bit her lip. What? There's something else that happened today. Is it something to deal with Bakugo? Izuku slowly nodded her head. Don't tell me you have to see him every day at your workplace. Oh no, not at my workplace. Oh good, wait what? It's gonna be at his own place. Melissa batted her eyes and then slowly sat down in front of the greenette. Explain. Flashback, excuse me. I have to do what? Izuku asked. Though I'm sure you think this is a terrible idea, I know that you and Katsuki have had a kind of strained relationship. So all I want for you to do is be his sitter and make sure that he doesn't do anything dangerous in the time he's recovering from his surgery on his arm. Takashi said. You want me to watch over Kaken in the time he has his cast? That sounds like a terrible idea, Takashi. Izuku exclaimed. I know, but I figured that if you and Katsuki get used to being around each other again, then maybe you two won't act so distant anymore. But it's our choice to be distant from each other, and I'm sure he'll be really uncomfortable around me. I beg to differ. Look, if you can just watch him for 8 weeks, then I'll make sure you get a raise and a vacation after this. Takashi said. A raise. And a vacation. I need both of those things, but do I really have to watch Kaken to get that? You won't be working here if you don't do this. What? Takashi, that's unfair. If you think that's unfair, do you want me to tell Emra about everything that's happened to you recently? Of course you bring in my cousin to make me do this. Fine. I'll be Kaken's sitter for 8 weeks. Izuku yelled in a huff. Good, that means you will have weekends off and only work in the morning here and then be Katsuki's sitter in the afternoon. And I'll make sure no one thinks you and Katsuki are dating or anything like that. I can't believe I'm doing this. Alright, follow me so we can talk to Katsuki about this and we'll get him discharged afterwards. Takashi said. This is the worst idea ever. Izuku thought as she followed Takashi out of his office and straight to Katsuki's hospital room. Takashi knocked on the door and looked back at Izuku before opening the door. Stay here until I ask you to come in. I'll talk to him first just so I can keep him calm. Takashi noted. Izuku nodded nervously. Takashi peeked his head in to see Katsuki slowly waking up after he was knocked out, as just hours prior. Well, it seems you're awake now. Katsuki squinted his eyes as he looked over to see Takashi entering his room. What happened? You got involved with a villain that ended up causing severe damage to your arm. We had to put you under surgery right after the incident since your bone was basically shattered. Takashi answered. What? Why couldn't you just heal me? Because we didn't want your quirk to be damaged if the healing wasn't done properly. As much as we didn't want to put you into surgery, we had no choice, and this also means that for the next 8 weeks, you'll be taking a break from your hero activities. Takashi explained. What? 8 weeks? Can't you just heal me now and be done with it? I'm the #1 hero for F's sake. I understand that you're frustrated, but maybe this will be a good time for you to wind down and maybe this will help you and Kei get on the same page. Takashi suggested. Arg, Are you saying this will make him wanna appear more? I did not say that, but maybe you two will finally see eye to eye. Takashi stated. This is stupid, but you're gonna make me not do anything, aren't you? Katsuki asked. Not just me, but precisely your new sitter will make sure you don't do anything dangerous either. Ah, you can come in. Takashi yelled. Katsuki turned his attention to the door and his eyes widened to see Izuku entering the room. WhatIf? Hello again, Mr. Dynamite. Note, this is still in a flashback in case you forgot. Moving on. Katsuki turned his attention to the door and his eyes widened to see Izuku entering the room. WhatIf? Hello again, Mr. Dynamite. Izuku mumbled with a small bow. Katsuki glanced over at Takashi with a raised eyebrow. What is she doing here? Katsuki, Izuku will be the one that will be taking care of you for the next 8 weeks. Takashi said. The second he was told Izuku was going to be his sitter, Katsuki's face blushed bright red. WTF? It was actually Izuku that knew right away that you had badly damaged your arm, and she was the one who took charge in the operation of fixing your arm as well. And since Izuku also has a healing quirk, she'd be able to help ease the pain in the healing process. That being said, of all the doctors that we have here, it would be best if Izuku were the one to take care of you. Takashi explained. Katsuki looked back at the brunette who was averting her gaze from him and clenching her hands together in a nervous manner. Deku would take care of me, he thought. Geez, just throw a fit already. I can tell he's thinking this is a terrible idea like I think it is. There's no way Kaken would agree to do something like dash, okay? Izuku jerked her head up and made direct eye contact with the blonde. Yeah. I said okay. I'm fine with it. Katsuki responded. You are. Great. Then let's get you discharged and taken home as soon as possible. Takashi said and then left the room. Izuku looked back to make sure that Takashi was completely gone and then walked up to Katsuki's bed. Are you crazy? Izuku whispered. No, and why were you whispering? Why would you agree to let me be your sitter? Do you not remember what happened this morning? Izuku asked. Katsuki could tell the brunette was worried about something, but what? Though he wanted to admit that he really didn't know, since it was Kei that did it, he looked the brunette straight in the face and said, Of course I remember what happened this morning. Then maybe we shouldn't be talking to each other. Or even in the same room. Izuku angrily whispered and then walked out of the room. What the F? What did he do? All right, you're clear to be discharged, but you are more than welcome to come here in case Izuku isn't available. Takashi suggested. Katsuki looked around the lobby to see that Izuku wasn't around and leaned his head near Takashi. What did he do this morning to Deku? Katsuki asked in a whisper. Takashi's eyes slightly widened but he remained calm. It would be better if you ask Kei yourself, or Izuku herself since I can clearly tell that she asked if you remember and you said yes. Takashi muttered. Why were you a pain in the neck sometimes? Shouldn't you be asking that about Kei? I'm sure if you found out all the things Kei's done, you'd think he's way more of a pain in the neck than me. Takashi answered and then walked away. Waya. Mr. Dynamite. Katsuki turned his entire body to see Izuku standing there without her usual lab coat on. Would you like me to take you home? She asked. Fine. Back to present. So now you're his personal sitter who has to be at his beck and call. Do you realize that he'll be using you to the point that you're gonna break? He's gonna make you lose your patience. Melissa stated. I know. But it's only for 8 weeks, and I'll get a raise and a vacation once this is all over. Oh yes, that sounds like you hit the jackpot. Melissa exclaimed sarcastically. You think I want to do this? And that's not even the bad part. Izuku said. What's the bad part? What could be worse than you having to be his sitter? Melissa asked. He's also my neighbor. Flashback, what is your address so we can get you home as soon as possible? Izuku asked while heading to the street and was about to call a cab. We can just walk there. Oh, then lead the way. Izuku suggested and the blonde walked right past her and took the lead. I've never been to where Kaken lives. I'm sure his place is a lot bigger than mine. She thought as she followed the blonde. She looked up to see the blonde take a turn and he started walking towards the entrance of the building. Wait, he lives. She thought. You comin'? Why, right behind you. She answered and picked up the pace to be behind him. The two of them walked into the lobby of the building and entered the elevator in an awkward silence and just stood there. Which floor? She asked. Though she'd asked first, she watched as he reached his left hand and pressed the button and the doors in the elevator shut. No way. I wasn't dreaming that he picked that floor. Izuku thought. After an eternity of waiting, the elevator dinged and the doors slowly opened for them to leave. Katsuki took the first step out and continued the lead onto the floor. Izuku watched where the blonde was walking to see a front door on both sides of the hallway and watched as he turned to face the front door on the right. He lives here. Izuku thought as she slowly walked up to the door to see the number on the door, which was a number different from the door opposite of it. He searched through his pockets and found his key to unlock the door and pushed the front door open and went right inside. Izuku slowly stepped inside the place and realized the entrance was a reflection of where she lives. Of all coincidences. He's my neighbor. Back to present, you mean? He lives in the condo across from yours. Geez, what kind of fate is this? It's not a good fate. Melissa exclaimed as she stood up from her couch. I can't just move to another place, once you live in such a nice condo. You don't want to downgrade to something smaller. Izuku mumbled. Do you realize that if he finds out that you're his neighbor, then he'll take advantage of you and try to wake you up in the middle of the night just to open a water bottle for him? Melissa suggested. I'll just have to keep it a secret on where I live for now and act like there is no romance between us. Because there isn't any romance between us. Izuku noted. Right, because you need your romance to be with Reed, since you clearly have stated that your feelings for Bakugo are gone. Melissa stated. Yeah, but something wasn't right. About what? This morning, the second I saw Kaken, looked like he missed me. And when he smiled at me after Albin left, that was a smile I'd never seen Kaken make before. Are you sure you're not imagining things after that kiss? Melissa suggested. Maybe you're right. Maybe I was just imagining things. Izuku mumbled. And just when things settled, the Greenette's phone started ringing in her pocket. Izuku pulled her phone out of her pocket and looked to see someone calling her. Please tell me that's Reed calling you. Melissa begged. No, it's Kaken. You don't have to answer it. Melissa. Hello. Yeah. Where are you? Izuku looked up at Melissa and sighed. I'm at a friend's place. Well, hurry up and get here, I'm hungry. Izuku took a deep breath and tried to remain calm. Are you asking me to make you dinner? No, I'm making you bring me dinner and hurry up. And the call ended before Izuku could say anything. Why, Kaken? Kaken. He hung up on me. He's asking you to make dinner. No, he's making me bring dinner to him. Geez, are you sure you're going to be able to handle being his personal sitter while working at the hospital and dating Reed? Melissa asked. Of course I can handle it. And me and Reed aren't dating. Not yet at least. Izuku muttered. Then I wish you the best of luck, and don't even let him get near your lips again. I'll make sure that doesn't happen. See you later, Melissa. Katsuki stared at his phone as it was on a certain Greenette's contact information. What happened this morning? Not even Takashi will tell me, which means he did something bad. But what could it have been that even Deku knows about it? He thought. Just when he was about to get deep into thought, his phone started ringing and it was Takashi calling him. Tease, what now? What? Hey, how are things going so far? Fine, why are you calling me? I'm going to give you very important help right now. With what? You shouldn't let Izuku be over at your place at night. Katsuki turned bright red at just the thought. Yeah. What do you think I am? No, I'm serious. You shouldn't let her be over at your place to take care of you at night because that's when Kei is around. Takashi explained. What? If Kei finds out that Izuku is your personal sitter, he's gonna go ballistic about it and probably not want you to wake up. That is unless you want Izuku to know about your second personality. No. And why won't you just tell me what he did to Deku this morning? Because that's personal information that didn't happen to me, but Izuku and Kei. So either ask Kei in a video for him to watch, or ask Izuku herself since it's clear that you're desperate to know. And you still need to drive the nail if you really want to know who Kei had sex with while using your body. Either you hide your second personality and act like everything that Kei's done was really you, or you tell the truth and say that Kei was really the one doing everything and you have no clue what he did. I'm your personal doctor, and I'm trying to help you and Kei get on the same page again. 𝐻𝐮𝐦𝐦𝐚𝐫𝐲 fine. What was the point in talking to you anyway? Katsuki muttered as he hung up the phone. If only he wasn't a part of me, then I would have beaten the 𝐻𝐻 out of him a long time ago. It's like he's a stupid sticker that won't go away. Izuku set the bag of food down right in front of the blonde, and all he did was look up at her with a raised eyebrow. 𝐻𝐻. Yes. What is this? Dinner. Izuku answered. Be more specific. Okay, your dinner. Izuku said without taking a second to think. 𝐼. He wanted to be annoyed, but it was more like he was surprised by her quick wit for once. He grabbed the bag and opened it to see what kind of food was inside, and then he looked up at the greenette. Yeah, why did you bring my fried chicken? He asked in a serious tone. Oh, well, you clearly only said to bring you dinner, but you didn't specify on what you wanted for dinner, so I grabbed whatever was close to where you live since I figured you would want fresh food. So whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to eat it since I'm not making you dinner or going back out to pick something else. Izuku explained. 𝐻𝐻, I knew I was forgetting something. I should be mad. But she did bring me dinner. He thought. He started trying to pull all the food boxes out of the bag, but since he had a cast on his arm, it was a bit difficult. Meanwhile, Izuku was just standing there watching him as he was struggling. 𝐼. What? Would you give me a hand? He asked. Oh sure. Izuku said and then started clapping her hands to give him a hand. Hee, I've always wanted to do that, she giggled. 𝐻𝐻, just help me. I'm the one with the broken arm here. He exclaimed. All right, let me. Izuku said as she started helping him by opening all of the boxes and setting all the food out onto the table in front of him. There you go, anything else you need? She asked. No, I'm fine, he muttered. He glanced up at her as she remained standing there, and he sighed because he knew she might leave once he starts eating. 𝐼. He turned his entire head to look up at her. Aren't you gonna sit down and eat? He asked. But this is your dinner. Clearly you ordered more than just one serving, and I know I'm not gonna eat all this. So sit and eat, I can tell you haven't eaten in a while. He stated as he turned his head back to the food. Okay, she mumbled as she walked over to the chair across from him and sat down and started grabbing food. Soon there was an awkward silence in the room as both of them ate in silence and neither was willing to say anything to break the silence. While they were eating, Katsuki would take small glances up at the greenette as she appeared to still be wearing her work clothes and glasses. She looks cuter with those glasses on. He thought. Stop staring at me, it's rude. Izuku stated without even looking up at him. I wasn't staring. Maybe you should fix your eyes if you're that blind. He snarked. I can't help it that I had to start wearing glasses or contacts after I got my quirk. Izuku noted as she ate. Wait, her quirk made her eyesight bad. That doesn't make any sense. He thought. 𝐻𝐻. He waited until she finally looked up at him and their eyes were staring at each other. When'd you get your quirk anyway? He asked. Oh, it was actually during the entrance exam to get into you. So it wasn't really the best time to get it. Izuku answered. She actually got a quirk. During the exam. But that doesn't make any sense, I thought you said you were quirkless when we were kids. Katsuki asked. Well, apparently I was a late bloomer to get my quirk. It happened to my cousin when she was younger. She didn't get one of her quirks until she was a teenager. Once we discovered that I had a quirk, I was taken to the doctor, and it's actually hereditary to get a quirk late in life. It's something about our BLD type or something that causes me and other people in my family that have experienced this to get a quirk late in life. Izuku explained as she took another bite of her chicken. I didn't know that was even possible, so Deku really was quirkless growing up, but got a quirk eventually. So how'd you get it? How'd you get your quirk during the entrance exam? He asked. You could say I got it in the nick of time to save someone from one of those huge robots that were in the exam. I think because my quirk had been bottled up inside of me for so long, a lot of power exploded from my body and I ended up saving some people and stopped the robots from attacking me. Unfortunately, because I used so much power for using my quirk for the first time, I passed out right after that, and that's when I was taken to the hospital to be examined. I'm honestly surprised I got accepted into you after what I pulled, but I guess they just liked my quirk or something. Izuku explained. Yeah, but you didn't get into the hero course. Of course not, because I always considered myself to be a sidekick. Izuku stated. But you were still saving people. Yeah, but I never really deserved to be in the limelight for all the savings I did. It was just natural for me to save people and help them get better. Though there was a time where I really did want to be a strong and powerful hero, that was long before I ended up getting a quirk. So once I got my quirk and learned the purpose of my quirk, my entire dream changed for me to want to help and heal people over fighting villains. Which is why I decided to quit that lifestyle early on and I changed to becoming a doctor 2 years ago. It's just a much safer environment for me to use my quirk as an actual doctor than as a hero. She answered. So that's why you were in the support course. And though I did my academics with you and the others, I had to do my athletic stuff without you guys and train with Recovery Girl. Not only was it Recovery Girl that helped me, but my cousin did too since she also has a healing quirk. My cousin was the one that suggested that if I start eating edible flowers then my quirk would get stronger and more energized. Izuku stated as she took another bite of her chicken. So that's why there were always flowers at her desk when I went to the hospital. Wait, wasn't she dating that flashy guy that went to a different high school than us? He thought. He watched as she moved her eyes to look up at him. What? What happened between you and that flashy guy? Flashy guy? Yeah. The one that didn't go to you, He noted. Izuku knew right away who the blonde was talking about and her expression turned a little sad. Oh, that guy. You mean Shindo? Yeah, did you two break up? Yes. We did. 2 years of my life wasted. What? Why'd you say that? Shindo cheated on me, she answered as she looked him directly in the eye. He was speechless by her immediate and expressionless answer. Oh. Yeah, we were supposed to celebrate my birthday, but right when I thought we were about to meet up, he had his hands all over another girl. And when I called him to make sure we were still meeting up, he lied and said he was busy with work when he was clearly busy with another girl. Which is why I wasted 2 years of my life with a guy that didn't really love me. Izuku noted. That prick. Cheated on Deku. That little, if I knew where he was, I'd beat the out of him until that flashy side of him is gone. And though he cheated on me, I moved on right away because there was no reason for me to mope around and wish he'd love me back. And now that I've moved on right away, I met Reed, and he's already treating me 10 times better than Shindo ever did. Izuku said with a smile on her face. Yeah, but what about me, Didn't I treat you right when we were younger? Katsuki thought as he stared at the greenette smile. Thanks for letting me have dinner with you. And next time, try to order food for yourself since I can't read your mind on what kind of food you want. Izuku said as she stood on the front door and he stood there, not really wanting her to leave yet. I was gonna eat whatever you brought me. He thought with a blush growing on his cheeks. Alright, do you need me to do anything else for you tonight before I leave? She asked. No, I'm fine. Good, because I was planning on leaving anyway. Yeah, wait. He watched as she turned her head to look back up at him. Yes. You better make me breakfast tomorrow. He mumbled. Sure, I can do that. Let me know if your arm starts hurting, and I'll be right over. Right. And get some sleep, you've had a long day. Izuku suggested. I didn't do anything today. Yeah, just have a good night, Mr. Dynamite. Izuku said as she opened his front door. What is it now? You don't need to call me that. My hero name. He mumbled. There's no one else here, so just call me how you usually would call me. He stated. Oh, got it. Then have a good night, Kaken. She answered sweetly, which only caused his heart to skip a beat. Why you too? The greenette couldn't help but smile as she left his place, and once she closed his door, she slowly walked up to the door that was across from the blonde's and unlocked the door. She entered the neighboring condo, and the second she closed the door behind her, she pressed her back against the door and let her body move downwards until she was sitting on the floor. Holy whoa, what just happened today? Izuku woke up at 5 the following morning and got straight into the shower to wake herself up and then changed into some clean scrubs for the day. Alright, I think I'm ready to go. Oh wait you better make me breakfast tomorrow. I promised Kakin I would make him breakfast. I hope this doesn't bite me in the butt later. Let's just make something that doesn't take too long and give it to him personally, and then we'll head straight to work. She thought as she set her stuff down and walked into her spacious kitchen. It's been a while since I've made breakfast for anyone, and I have no idea what Kakin likes and hates. I'm sure his taste buds haven't changed much, but I can't be 100% sure. Oh, but he does like stuff that's spicy. Maybe we shouldn't give him something that's spicy first thing in the morning. Maybe I can ask him later what kind of foods he likes. Let's just see what I end up making and give it to him. She thought as she started scrambling through her kitchen at 5 in the morning. Finished. She thought as she got everything packed in a medium-sized paper bag. That didn't take long, right? She thought as she slowly looked over at the time, and she felt her body go numb. It took me almost an hour to make his breakfast. Geez, I really gotta work on my cooking faster. Oh, never mind that. I need to give this to him as soon as possible before I end up late to work. She thought as she rushed to grab everything she needed and was out the door. She closed the front door of her place and then turned her head to stare at the door that led to Katsuki's place. I still can't believe he ended up being my neighbor too. Arg, focus and just knock on the door and give it to him and then we can leave. She thought as she took a deep breath and started knocking on the door. The sound of a door being knocked on echoed through the blonde's head over and over to the point that he couldn't sleep as the noise kept going. Arg, who the F is knocking at my door at 6 in the morning? He thought as he shoved his covers away and stomped through his condo in an annoyed rage until he got to the door. The sound of the door knocking got louder with each step he took, and he couldn't take another round of knocking as he quickly grabbed the doorknob and pulled it open. What? His entire body froze as he realized that it was Izuku knocking on his door. Deku. What you want? Why are you here so early in the morning? He asked, trying to act like his little outburst didn't happen. Well, in case you forgot that I'm a doctor, I work early in the morning, and since you kindly asked me to bring you breakfast in the morning, you're gonna have to deal with me bringing it to you at 6 o'clock in the morning. So here. Izuku stated as she held up a medium-sized paper bag up to him. Where's this from? Where's it from? From my place. I made it, she answered, and he just blinked down at her over and over. He asked robotically. Yeah, I had to learn how to cook for myself eventually. It's not perfect, but it's edible, and if you don't like it, there's always takeout. No, it's fine. I'll eat it, he exclaimed. I see, that's good. Then you're gonna have to order takeout for yourself for lunch since I'll be busy with work today. Let me know if you need anything. Izuku said. Yeah. I'll be back when my shift's over. Bye, she said and started heading to the elevator. The second the greenette was in the elevator and the doors shut in front of her, Katsuki slammed his head against his own door as he was filled with embarrassment. I forgot how nice and cute she is to me, he thought, and then looked down at the bag that had his breakfast inside. She made breakfast like I asked. Looks like I'm gonna be waking up at 6 in the morning for a while. Izuku's mood practically blossomed when she got to work after the long hour of making breakfast for the one she's having to sit for 8 weeks. Well, it looks like you're in a better mood today, huh, Izuku? Ziri asked, walking up to the greenette. Of course. The janitor left me a couple bouquets of edible flowers on my desk this morning since I didn't really have time to stop and get breakfast this morning. Izuku explained. Eating just flowers isn't a good meal first thing in the morning, Izuku. Ziri stated. I know, but I got a little held up on doing something else this morning, she slowly mumbled. Please tell me it was something with the power not working at your place this morning. Ziri asked with a raised eyebrow. No, More like it's been a while since the last time I cooked in my kitchen and it took me a full hour to make something. And you somehow didn't eat that breakfast you made. Oh no, it was for someone else. Who? It was for it was for my neighbor, she blurted. Aha, well you better keep that news from Violet. She's not here yet, but she'd go ballistic if I know, she'd go crazy if I ended up hurting Reed's feelings, but it's nothing like that. Izuku interrupted. Okay, just be careful what you say now. Ziri said and walked off from the brunette's desk. For some strange reason, I feel really refreshed this morning after seeing Kakin, and all I did was bring him breakfast. Have I really lost it now? No, I was just doing what he asked, which was to bring him breakfast, that's it. She thought as she tried to get back to work. Aizu-san. Yes, what is ? The brunette lifted her head up from her desk and her eyes widened to see a familiar face standing in front of her desk. A very familiar face. Shindo. Hey. Long time no see. He said happily as his eyes lit up to see her. Just seeing how happy he looked hurt her chest, because all she was reminded of was the night she saw him with his hands all over another girl. But why is he here? She thought as she gulped with fear. What brings you here, Shindo? She asked nervously. Oh, well, isn't it obvious? I came to have lunch with you. I figured you were upset that we couldn't celebrate your birthday because of how busy I was, so I came here myself to take you away from work, Aizu-san. Shindo said. Has he not taken the hint? The night I found him cheating on me, I immediately blocked his phone number and his accounts on social media just so I wouldn't have to deal with him. I even left a box of all his belongings and things he'd bought me in the past straight to his apartment a few days after he cheated on me. She thought. So let's get you out of here and let's celebrate your birthday. Shindo exclaimed. He's acting like he's the one who did nothing wrong, but he did everything wrong in this relationship. He hid himself from me more than I thought. She thought. Look, Shindo, I'm currently busy with work and I don't think it'd be good if you try and see me. Izuku stated. Bad to see you. Are you still upset that I couldn't see you to celebrate your birthday with you? I got held up with work that day, and I really am sorry I couldn't . Would you just drop the act already? Izuku interrupted. Shindo looked at the brunette and could tell she wasn't acting like her usual self. What act? What are you talking about? Please stop lying and acting like you're innocent. Do you have any idea how upset I was that night when I saw you with your hands all over another girl? Izuku stated, and Shindo's eyes were shrouded in fear. What? The night we were supposed to celebrate my birthday, I called you and asked where you were, and you answered that something came up. I knew it wasn't really work that came up. I watched you answer my call while your hand was on that girl, and you looked annoyed that I was even calling you. You weren't busy because of work that night, you were busy with a girl, and that girl wasn't me. Izuku noted. Aizu-san, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you sure it was me? Are you saying that I was imagining it? Well, I wasn't imagining it. You were cheating on me, I saw it right in front of me with my own eyes. Ever wonder why I haven't called you after that night? It's because I blocked your number and blocked you from all social media just so I wouldn't have to deal with that kind of pain all by myself. You didn't love me, and honestly I don't think you ever did love me either. But I did, I trusted you and was being completely honest with you, and what did I get? I got backstabbed as a birthday present from you. Izuku stated. Though she shouldn't have confessed all of this in the middle of the hospital and in front of doctors and patients, but she couldn't keep all that pain and anger inside of her, she needed to let it out. Aizu-san. There was a reason for me being with that girl that night. She pounced on me, and I couldn't push her away. You think I would believe you when I clearly saw you kissing her and putting your hands on her? What other excuse do you have? She asked. Look, I really did want to celebrate your birthday with you that night, I really did, but things just got hectic that night. I'm telling you the truth. Izuku didn't even want to look him in the face, because all of the pain from that night was coming back to haunt her. She quickly turned her body and had her back facing him. I don't ever want to see you come here again, especially if all you're going to do is act like nothing bad happened to me, she stated and started walking off. Aizu-san. Aizu-san, wait. He yelled and started running after her, and quickly grabbed her hand. "Let go of me," she exclaimed. "Please, Izuku-san, I really didn't mean to hurt you, 𝐒𝐮𝐻. Please just listen to me, all of that was fake. That relationship with that girl was fake, all of it. I'm not going to believe another word you say. Now let go of me," she yelled, trying to shake her hand away. "No, not until you just listen to me. No. I won't listen because all you say is lies. Let go." "No, Izuku-san, please. I need you, I love dash." Shindo was immediately interrupted when a hand grabbed his wrist that was holding onto Izuku's wrist. Both Shindo and Izuku went silent and looked up to see a tall man standing in the middle of them. "She said to let go, so that means you should listen."